He says, imagine if fire's hard to come by, but you've got an oven.
Yo, Flurs, how's it going? I hope you're all doing well. It's good to see you guys here. So tonight's gonna be an exceptional stream, that's for sure. I can tell. As you can see behind me, I got a very special background just for Jaren.
No.
You know what that is behind me, Jaren? You know what that is? That's boiling water in a kettle. You know what causes that water to boil, guys?
Yeah, pressure.
Heat.
No, it's pressure.
Don't you still use your oven?
No.
This is how stupid the guy is. He thinks pressure causes water to boil. Sorry?
Don't put stones near it, it'll turn into a waterfall.
Oh, but it's good to have everybody here. And I just have to quickly correct Jaren because he's an imbecile. No, pressure doesn't cause water to boil. Heat causes water to boil. Pressure can cause the temperature differential for the causing to boil. You know why? Because there's less pushback of pressure. And if you
But
just
the pressure would be a completely separate, independent variable, which is the part he doesn't get.
But
Independent, one-of variable, you change it.
But we'll still get to that part though. But yeah, the thing is, he doesn't understand pressure. If you go to low pressure, like in a vacuum or whatever, it's degassing. It's not boiling. There's a difference between boiling and degassing. Tell me, has anybody seen steam come off of water in a vacuum? No? So not boiling.
No, exactly.
Yeah, he says Dal would say, retarded. But anyway, I haven't even said hello to Michael Kahn, Peter Cruikshank, Spuddy Taylor, and Jeff Conkle. How you guys doing?
Yo.
Oh, good.
Yo, what's up?
Yeah, same as always. The earth is flat. Jesus still loves us, and Jaren is a numpty.
Yeah, well, I got the votes up. We got 24 votes, guys. Jaren should leave as he is not for truth. Yes, he's not a flat earther. 88%. Wow, 88% of people so far say you should leave, Jaren, because you're just not a flat earther. You're really dumb. And 12% say no, because we need lying bullshit.
People are like, can't we just all get along for the sake of flat earth community? Well, I'm under the impression of no, because we're either for truth or we're about just getting along.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And if you're for truth, then these things need calling out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
misleading people.
Yeah, and obviously the stream we're going to be reviewing now, guys, you would see Jaren is not for truth. The guy is simply an embarrassment to FE, and in my opinion, still the most dishonest cluck on the internet. And if you haven't noticed, the guy just doesn't give a shit if he's lying or not. We're going to go show and sum a lot of his lies through here.
Thing is, there's an agenda with that side of flat earth.
Yeah, you
And
can't.
To admit that science proves things is detrimental to that agenda that they're pushing.
Yeah, you can't just compromise. You can't just compromise just to get on. Because, I mean, that's even happened in the church. You know what I mean? They've compromised their doctrines and that to get people in, to make it like a concert and stuff like that, just to get people in and then tell them the gospel. That's not how you do it. You don't compromise your ways. You don't compromise the truth at all. You can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Yeah, exactly. So, guys, tonight's going to be a nice long show, I think, because the power's not going off. It already went off, so we're not limited to 11 o'clock. And I think there's so much to go through to teach Jaren even just what the hypothesis is. Frankly, I feel that he doesn't even know what observed phenomena is, to be honest. But I'm just going to say hi to everybody in chat quickly. Original D Rose, good, thank you for coming. Michael Kahn, thank you for coming. Two Wolves, hello. Jimmy, good to see you. Michael Kahn, obviously here. Jeff Conkle, thank you for being here, mate. And yeah, shout out to Jeff Conkle for becoming a King Rooster. Thank you very much, Jeff.
Ringo Starr.
I see you had pizza tonight, Michael.
Yeah, mate, yeah.
Yeah. I treated our family and we went to go buy some pizza. Usually I make it, but I wasn't in the mood, so we actually went to buy.
Homemade, but then Jeff tells me it's not homemade because I didn't make flour.
How dare you?
How dare you, Jeff?
Well,
Close enough. Close enough. I've seen him making them. It's homemade to me.
And then he got YouTube in. Moxie, hello. Paula, good to see you. Bible you. Thank you for coming. Black Ice, good to see you too. Television, thank you for coming. Retro Bull, thank you for being here. Good to see you. Alan Norstrand, hello, hello. Great to have you here. Into the break, hello. Hello, Awesome Lawson Clips, thank you for coming. Glad you could make it too. And you can hear my son crying in the background. I have no idea what happened. Sorry about that. YouTube, if I haven't said hello, thank you for being here. Detekuts, hello, hello. Bennett Edward, good to see you too. Say hi, Miss Lisa. Okay. The Price of Adam, thank you for coming. There's a lot of people in tonight. That's good. A good start. Illis G, hello, hello. Matthew Eastman, good to see you too. Brian Shuker, thank you for coming. Charlie Welsh, hello, hello. And Titan Long. Okay, through the list. But it's good to see you guys. So the votes have gone up to 29%, and 90% say yes, Jaren, get out of here. You're not a flat earther. Okay. You guys want to start the very, very bad, appalling opening from Jaren?
Yeah.
What weird is, before we start, I have to give a disclaimer here. Usually when a person has a debate on something, on a topic, let's say they're debating, does science prove things? The guy has an opening on why he thinks science doesn't prove things, correct? Or why they put their argument forward.
It shows you about his mentality if he's wearing a Turtles t-shirt. Come on.
Yeah, so Jaren doesn't use his opening time to make a case on why science doesn't prove things according to his ignorant brain. Instead he goes and poisons the well fallacy and cries like a baby because he doesn't have an argument. I am actually surprised he showed up, by the way. I didn't think he was going to show. But he did show up.
Yeah, I didn't even go show.
Yeah, but he showed up. Hey, Skeptic, good to see you, mate. Thank you for coming. Hey, is Hammer in?
And Hammer, yeah.
Ooh, the man of the hour. How's it going, Hammer?
What's up, dudes? How are you?
Good, and yourself?
Yo, Hammer.
Yeah, Hammer. Go on, Hammer.
Shout out to the moderator from last night. I'm sure you were pulling your hairs.
Actually, my strategy was to kind of, two esteemed gentlemen of the community. I felt like they could handle themselves. You know what I mean? So I tried to do as little moderating as I could. I did have to mute Jaren a little bit. It was getting a little ad hommy there for sure.
A little.
It was. That's what he used his opening statement for. Ad homing, the whole lot. It was crazy.
But I think you did a good job there, Hammer.
Hey, I appreciate it.
You try to keep the piece as good as possible, so.
Yeah, you did well not to interrupt Mark. So I would have stepped in more personally.
Hey, thanks.
I wouldn't have been able to have my tongue, I don't think.
Yeah, me neither.
Well, Hammer, if you ever want another debate, hook me up. I'll debate Jaren, definitely. I'd love to debate that moron.
Well, I could certainly try and talk to him, see if he.
I can tell you now.
Offer.
I can tell you now. No, I don't talk to that guy. He won't talk to me, but you can try. I don't know. He's scared of me. But anyway.
That's unfortunate. Yeah, we tried. Hopefully not. You know what I mean? Like there was a part. I don't know. You're going through it, so I don't want to. No spoilers. No spoilers. It'll be interesting though.
Yeah. No, we're definitely gonna go through. So we're gonna start with Jaren's opening. I'm not really gonna stop his opening because we want to hear his whole opening. And then we can disseminate what the hell he said, okay? You guys ready for this?
Ew.
I know it's painful, but let's do
a long,
this.
long time.
Hey,
Mr. Jaren, welcome to the show, buddy.
What's up, guys? How are you?
Welcome. Good. Without further ado, go ahead and you are going to start this off, and you already know the format, how it's going to break down. You start, and then he'll. What was that?
No, I was gonna say, what is the format?
You're do like 5 to 10 minute opening, however long you need to to state everything, and then he'll go and do that, and then you're gonna have the back and forth as we had discussed.
Sounds good to me.
All right, with that, I will put myself on mute and enjoy the show, everybody.
Yeah, enjoy the show, guys. And if you haven't already,
Right, so I'll just
please do hit the likes and share the show. It's good to see you guys here.
do a little quick intro, and I guess you could ask why I'm here. I don't want to be here. I don't really want to talk to Nathan, mostly because, well, first of all, I give credit where credit's due. Something that Nathan doesn't do. That's to point out the good work that he has done for the community, and I think that the show used to be great, and I think that the people on the show used to be great, and then he got an ego, and what happens when you get an ego is that you start to chase the Globers away. And now the one-time great debate show consists of basically repeated dumbass arguments and a circle jerk of enormous proportions. So I've heard from people involved in that show that they'll even set up scenarios before the show. So basically, hey, Riley, you play this role and we'll argue back and forth. And so it's just all like a setup. It's like not even a real conversation. It's
Okay, so we're gonna have to stop it. I don't think we can go through everything without stopping it. First of all, Jaren was lying there, guys.
Yep.
Nathan Oakley, the first point, he has even many streams said Jaren has done some great work for Flat Earth before, has he not?
Yep.
And Jaren lied and says he's never done this. So lie number one, Jaren, we should actually tick all these lies off.
And let's be clear, Nathan extended this olive branch.
Exactly. Also note, his first words are, I don't want to be here. Yeah, Jaren, of course you wouldn't want to be there because you're a bloody liar. That's what happens with liars. You don't want to face the music. Dishonesty, Anyway, second lie. Flat Earth debate is not a real show. It's planned out. Scripted, as he's trying to say it. No, it's not. The reason we sometimes have us playing as ballers is because the ballers are too scared to come and talk, to debate. So we show we are able to do a better job than they can, Jaren. That's how it works. If the people are too chicken shit to show up, then must we just sit there and say, okay, nothing going on? Really? Weird how Jaren goes on baller shows and agrees that Earth curve is real. This is a flat earther we're talking about. Correct? This is a flat earther calling other flat earther scammers because they say things that science proves. This is a flat earther that goes on McToons and says, yeah, we can measure angles on a curved surface. You see what I'm talking about, Jaren? Do you guys agree or?
Totally 100% agree.
Well, the fact that he went to a Glober for help on celestial navigation says it all, really. He should have come to a flat Earth for help, surely.
Yeah, and I'm sticking to my statement. Jaren's not a flat earther, guys. He's not a flat earther. He's playing flat Earth. Hence why he was able to do the mockumentary.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean? He's got an agenda. I think he can't be a flat earther if he thinks what he thinks. I mean, going on about a baseline, he thinks he can get a baseline on a globe as well. Do you know what I mean? It's just ridiculous.
I mean, really? Did the guy never go to school before? You learn this in primary school, what an angle is.
Yeah. I know what his angle is. But it's got to be money. You know what I mean? It's got to be. I'm sorry.
Yep. Exactly. Price of Adam. No. Black Eyes. Jaren doesn't know what devil's advocate is. No, he does not.
Circle jerk, and it's probably the worst thing that you can do for the community is have a bunch of people sit around and toot each other's horns and just have no opposition at all, which is what they don't have anymore. So they've taken it upon themselves to go after other flat earthers, and when you've got people saying things like "Witsit is dumb," it is.
Sorry, when you say something like "Witsit is dumb," it's proven record that he's dumb.
It's recorded double speaking.
He does exactly what you do, Jaren. It's recorded that he's dumb. Recorded with shit that he says, and he makes up words. I mean, look, lately he's trying to talk about diffraction limit and doesn't even know what the words are. He makes up his own words to try and explain things.
Like, you want to talk about egos? Look about when Witsit come on here, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to expose you all. I'm going to get you all excommunicated." You know what I mean? If that's not an ego, I don't know what is.
Exactly.
Like, these people think that they run flat Earth, and they don't.
No. I mean, they don't even say they're flat earthers anymore. They're just true earthers now, apparently. Whatever that's supposed to mean. Whatever that's supposed to mean.
That's trying to, because they're trying to set themselves apart from other flat earthers. And they're true earthers now.
Yeah, but you have to pay to be a true earther, don't you?
Exactly. We're excommunicated from a place we were never at, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, Black Eyes, you know what I would say Witsit is dumb? One of his arguments. No, I don't ascribe to the electrons and everything argument, the model. But that's what his whole electromagnetism relies upon. He relies his whole argument on a model that he says he doesn't agree on. He doesn't ascribe to.
Well, I'll tell you why he's dumb. Because when he come on here to have a discussion with you, I had to jump in and correct him and tell him that change at container does not affect the boiling point of water.
Exactly.
If he thinks containers change boiling point of water, then I'm sorry, but it's fake.
They're just stupid. They don't understand. When you change a container or whatever, it would be a control. That's it. It's not a cause. No. It's a control. But we're going to get there. Jaren doesn't know what that is.
Water has a boiling point. It's 100 degrees. No changes that.
Nothing.
We'll get there. But like I said, when you go up in a mountain, it's easier to boil at lower temperatures. Why? Because it's less pressure pushing on it. But you can't stick water in a vacuum and say it's boiling. That's degassing, not boiling. If the guy doesn't know the difference between degassing and boiling, then he is a moron. So again, question for everybody in chat. Type 1, if you've ever seen steam when you put water in a vacuum. Or type 2, if you know that's just bullshit.
One of the most glaring inaccuracies ever said. There's nobody who would listen to Witsit and say, "Oh, that guy's dumb." He would destroy any member of Flat Earth debate, in any intellectual test, in any SAT, in any IQ test. He would absolutely destroy every one of them. Yet they're calling him.
You see what I'm saying? What is the argument? No, you're calling him dumb, but he will destroy you all. His IQ, he's blah blah blah. Really?
That's it. It goes on about the amount of subs that people have later as well. It's ridiculous. I mean, how petty is that?
That's crazy.
I'm stupid. Why? Because they need views. And when you need views, you put Witsit's name in your title or put my name or my photo on your thumbnail. You can go to my channel and check how many times I've got Nathan Oakley in a thumbnail of mine. The answer is 0. You can find out how many times I've got Nathan Oakley in the title of one of my videos. The answer is 0. I don't need Nathan for content. Nathan needs me.
No, the reason you don't put him in is because you don't want to give him exposure. That's called selfishness, Jaren. That's called dishonesty. Correct, guys?
Yeah.
What if it was in the other way? He was the smaller channel. Would he feel it's okay? I mean, how did Jaren get his subs in the first place when it wasn't censored? Oh wait, people helped him get his subs.
Exactly.
So he doesn't want to pay it forward again and say, okay, let's help the FE community. No. Let me roll there, not go, let me talk about Nathan or whatever, but not actually show anything about Nathan. That's called dishonesty. That's talking behind people's back, in other words. Like now, I'm talking about Jaren. I tagged him in this post, guys.
Yeah.
He's got all the right to come and talk as well. By the way, Jaren, if you do show up, please do feel free to come and talk so I can educate you on science. Because obviously Nathan couldn't get it through to you.
So one of the, these guys did a 4-hour show once where they were arguing whether or not I was an agent. This was a debate that Riley was taking the opinion that, well, Jaren's really bad at debate, so he must be an agent. And these guys are going back like that's a rational conversation. Who knows? Anyway, Nathan may have been ace. I recommended the show in the past. I had Nathan on my show. I made clips of the show.
Wait. He just double spoke. What did he say 2 minutes ago? Go and look at my channel. Not one thumbnail shows Nathan. Not one thing talks about Nathan. No comment post. Now he says he was ace. I recommended it on my show. Blah, blah. Sorry, you just contradicted your own statement, Jaren. How many contradictions has this guy had so far? Or it just started?
Just when he opens his mouth.
Yeah.
Was a patron, so I actually donated to the show, and I always give credit to those who deserve it. So I will give credit there, but the last 2 years, or I guess since he started attacking people for having different beliefs, like if we have people debating the ether, great. Just because you don't believe in the ether, you should want other people looking into it then.
This is where we draw the line, Jaren. The ether, what's the claim? It's scientifically proven, isn't it not? That's what they claim. That's what they used to claim. But now they can't claim science prove things, correct? Yeah. What are we always getting? You pushing the ether. What is the ether, Jaren? Oh, it keeps changing. Then we say, okay, so you're doing exactly what the ballers do. You're making a claim of something and having a belief for it. You can't prove it scientifically. You can't validate it. You can't even tell us what it is. It keeps changing. And by the way, the ether is globe-based rhetoric.
Yeah.
So please, Jaren, stop going and say, oh, you just mean because you don't want us to have the same beliefs as you. The ether is an embarrassment to flat Earth. It is wrong. It does not exist. It's not, nobody even knows what it is, to be honest. And if you push the ether, you're pushing globe rhetoric. Really, Jaren? This is simple stuff. And you guys can hop in anytime if you got something to say, by the way. Guess not.
They might find something you would never find because you've already closed your mind to it, which is crazy to me. We're in this community. We're in the flat earth. We're in the truth because we have open minds. We want to kick some stuff around. And yet these guys want us to be dogmatic as dogmatic gets. It's insane to me. So
I do want to comment.
Yeah.
The reason we got into this mess in the first place with heliocentrism is people were pushing things that they had no scientific proof for. And now these are doing the exact same thing with the ether and the dielectric acceleration. And that's why we call them out, because we're better than that, you know. We don't just blindly want to fall straight back into the next lot of bullshit that comes along.
They've just replaced gravity with that. You know what I mean? It's just mental.
Yeah, exactly. We got standards.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And they are just hypocrites if they want to claim, "Oh, your globe is just fantasy belief," but then they go and do exactly the same with their own arguments they want to push on people. And by the way, this whole argument started with the ether, right, you can put it, calling everybody else wrong and attacking everybody else. You know, sort of like what Dell's doing with his accelerating Earth nonsense bullshit. It's exactly the same. We are just literally telling you, let's see if the evidence provides anything for it. You guys can't even define what your argument is. That's how stupid it is. You're an embarrassment to the FE community, to the real truth seekers. Okay? It's as simple as that. And we're not going to stand for it. I, for one other hand, will never stand for idiotic people trying to make us look bad. Hey, Rob Keane, thank you very much for your gifting 1 membership. Really, really appreciate it, mate. You rock. Thank you for being here.
Nicely caught by Into the Break.
And member for 7 months, Titan Long. Wow, he says, Jaren and Co. have done great FE work. Now I vote them out. Here, anyone second that?
Thing is that, right, imagine if you want to try and take a movement down, right? How would you do that? You'd infiltrate it, push good stuff, and then when you've got followers, that's when you can start.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's it.
Exactly. Thank you very much for being a member for 7 months. Yeah, it's very simple. Jaren, like we said, there's some of his stuff that's good. Nobody's saying there's not good things from Jaren.
All that's supposed good work though. Is all hollow, in it. If like now they're pushing nonsense, you know.
Yeah, what you're doing, the primer, the foundation. So they make a name for themselves. Oh yeah, I'm this great guy. I'm doing good for, and then now they've got the followers and the supporters, and they decide, hey, you know what? I'm better than everybody else. Let's make it look as dumb as possible with everything. Jaren projects on everybody saying, oh, you guys just have an ego problem. No, Jaren has the ego problem, guys. He can't accept that he's wrong. He can't accept that science proves things. And we're going to get to how it proves things later. But Jaren also can't accept that he doesn't understand practically everything he goes and talks about. Hence why he got demolished by McToon, which is embarrassing.
Yup. Especially from a clown, an actual clown.
I mean,
you can see delight on Toon's face while they were talking to him.
Yeah, I mean, and by the way, I'm going to be debating McToon on the 30th about celestial navigation, and I told him, just note, I'm not Jaren.
Right. Can I mediate? Can I moderate?
McToon?
Yeah, he's a paying Patreon, so I have to.
Yeah.
I have to do one debate a month.
I'll make him cry.
Don't worry.
Yeah, can I moderate? And I'll be biased.
You can moderate for sure.
Yeah, I'll just mute them all the time and let you talk.
At least we know you're a good moderator.
Absolutely.
Just do what Toon does and then jump on, and then it's like 2-on-1.
No, I'm better than that. But yeah, I told him straight, I'm not Jaren. So we'll see what's going to happen. Oh yeah, and news. Andrew Johnston, the same guy that gave us evidence for 4,000 kilometers of horizontal baselines, is coming to present about gravity on Sunday. So come for that. Stay tuned.
This is a guy that you need to not waste your time with.
It's okay. I just love all the FE information he brings that he thinks is globe-based.
Charlie's asking me if I've been fishing lately. Going this weekend at some point.
He has his tambourine troupe. They all, called Wits It Stupid. They call me names now. Now they're all going.
Hey, thank you, Retro Bull, for your $10 super chat. Really, really appreciate it, mate. He says, a substance fails to boil at 800 degrees. Later, technology allows you to reach 1,200 degrees, causing it to boil. The original experiment is still valid, as it said nothing about temps over 800 degrees. Exactly, Retro Bull. That's a very good super chat. Thank you very much. Yeah, this is one point I wanted to make later on, actually. It's about your hypothesis that you write. If your hypothesis is simply heat causes, that would be, it's not how much heat causes. That's a different hypothesis. Correct? So if I say a candle's heat causes water to boil and it doesn't, I have validated my null.
Yeah.
Okay, that doesn't mean heat doesn't cause it. It means candle's heat doesn't cause water to boil. This is how. This is how simple Jaren doesn't get it. So he thinks, oh, you have to vary it. You don't vary it enough to get it to boil. Oh, really? It's all got to do with your hypothesis. And as Nathan was stating the whole time, systematic experimentation. That means more than one person's going to take the same observed phenomena and try and conjure the same phenomena up. That's what it's there for. So you can see if you can cause the effect observed in nature. If you don't get it right, that means you're back to the drawing board.
I'll just make a quick point. Jaren's out to find truth, and he wants to get to the bottom of the truth. But what method is he going to use to find the truth? Will it be the scientific method, maybe?
Well, he doesn't believe the scientific method proves things.
So how is he going to find the truth of it then? It'll just be going around in circles, never believing anything.
Yeah. So I want to know, guys, if it wasn't for the scientific method, like Nathan says, you wouldn't be able to have kettles today. Heck, Jaren's literally throwing thermodynamics away.
Yeah.
Thermodynamics is about heat energy, Jaren. That's what the whole of thermodynamics is about. It's based on scientific principle. Okay? So in other words, everybody that studied thermodynamics, sorry, you've wasted your money. There's no such thing as thermodynamics because Jaren says a candle can't boil water. Heat doesn't cause water to boil. This is how idiotic Jaren is.
But the thing is, a candle can boil water. If you've got a spoon and a small amount of water, a candle will boil. You know what I mean?
Induction.
That's not water, PJ. That's definitely not water.
You know what I'm on about. But I know what I'm on about. Right? But yeah, but you get what I'm saying. It's about the amounts of it.
That's why you have controls
on both sides, on the heat side and on the water side. Do you know what I mean?
Awesome Lawson clips. But rocks cause waterfalls. Yeah.
Have we finished his opening statement yet?
No, not even through this yet. But we're so ahead of ourselves.
We're getting a bit.
Okay, I'm going to keep quiet till his statement's finished, rather, guys, because it's about the same thing. Sorry. I'll keep quiet. I'll try.
Going off about me being an agent, or I'm working for the government, or I work with McToon, or you name it. They say Bob was an agent, which is insane. They say I'm not a flat earther. They say I work for the government, like I said. And then they demand that I be like them and say the same things as them. So they want me to be rude. They want me to be gross. They want me to be wrong and pompous, and which is easy to do when there's no opposition. When you just sit there on your own show, you can act like an ass because the people that are there are going to show up the next day. But the show is now a joke to me. And since I think Nathan will never admit that he's wrong, which is the reason I've called him a scammer, because I think he cares deeply about money. I think he admits that often. So much to the fact that the reason he's here today is because he told his audience and his team that he feels it's better monetarily for him to make up with me or to at least have some common ground. That's the only reason he's here. So it's not about being a decent human. It's not about treating each other with respect.
Yeah,
yes, he's got it written down. Yes, you can see he's reading it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even. He does not look at the screen once, not at the camera once.
BJ, he's doing his colouring in. He's got his crayons.
But
I think cranes are too dangerous for him. You can.
I thought you were playing with his turtle figures.
But I just have to point out, guys, you did just hear him call Nathan a scammer because of the things he believes. Correct?
Yeah.
He just said that. Just note that, guys, because he's gonna double down later.
It's not about it's call people names and go watch his show, watch anything with my face in it and listen to the things that are said. And then if you think I'm just going to come here and be like, oh yeah, everything's cool, you got nothing coming. But that's why I call him a scammer. So I mentioned the thumbnails. He's got me all over his thumbnails. You can check my channel. I don't do that. The man does seem incapable of like a normal human conversation.
Sorry?
I'll just make a quick point. I make a note that he did just admit that he called Nathan a scammer just then.
Again, yeah, 2 times now.
And later on in the show, he will be claiming that he never said that.
Exactly. Oh, and he claims Nathan brings up something that's got nothing to do with him saying it, where it literally says he calls him a scammer for saying science proves things.
So it's even in his opening statement.
Yeah. I mean, how many lies do we have to get from this Jaren guy? Crazy.
that is the sharing of ideas. It's just not allowed. Nor is having a different belief. Like I said, how dare you have an open mind? So he has claimed on his show that.
Okay, so nor is having a different belief allowed. That's why you're calling him a scammer, because he has a different belief than you, Jaren. Hypocrite.
There is something wrong with reading something that's wrote down, Furious Faithful, because I'm pretty sure Jaren says Nathan reads from a script.
Exactly. But did you just hear this, guys? He's a hypocrite. He says Nathan has a problem with other people believing things, and Jaren has a problem that he believes things different than him, so therefore he's a scammer. Oh, wow. So you're a scammer because you believe different than Jaren, guys. So everybody believes different than Jaren is a scammer.
So we're all scammers then, aren't
Then
we?
everybody's scammers, yeah. What a hypocrite.
Absolutely.
I push the ether to my audience and pretend I have science for it, which is a total lie. I asked them to find one time that I've ever mentioned the ether, because I don't even.
You just did now 4 times in this whole stream. And yes, you have mentioned ether, dude, many times. You've even had Witsit on talking about the ether with you. So that's also a lie, guys. Heck, they've even talked about ether, I think, when I was on Glowbusters with them that one stream, remember? Oh, wow, Jaren. Do you have short-term memory loss as well?
Remember mentioning it on my show. No one has ever found it. No one's ever returned it. This is part of the problem when Nathan is proven wrong. When you've got QE and Nathan saying water boils at 100 degrees, what did I do? I shoved it right back in their face and proved that it does not. That it.
Okay, guys.
Wow.
This is
Michael's.
me and Michael actually did actual videos on this, and he just ran away from it. Look at this, 96 degrees at the moment. Is it boiling? No. Watch what happens when it gets to 100 degrees. Okay? We can just talk while it's going up because we're waiting for the temperature to go up. But you see, it's not boiling yet, dude. Look, it's at 97 degrees. Waiting. Come on, it's starting. There we go. It's starting to boil. But now it's going to stop boiling. Let's get to 100. 99.
It's not going to boil. It's in the wrong container.
No, it's the pressure. It's the pressure, dude. It's the pressure causing it to boil. That stove you're using, it causes pressure. It doesn't cause heat, Michael. So you could stick your hand on there, okay? It's not going to burn you. Heat energy doesn't exist. There, 100 degrees. What's happening? Is it boiling?
It's boiling like a boily thing on a boily day.
So tell us again, Jaren, how you pushed it back in the face, proving him wrong.
You're an idiot. He's an absolute...
100 degrees Celsius, water boiling. This is what you call experimentation, correct?
Yep.
What was the hypothesis? Heat causes water to boil. What did you do? You induced heat, the cause, and you just observed the effect. 100 degrees Celsius, the water was boiling.
Notice I didn't put my pan in oven.
Notice how you didn't hold a candle underneath it. I mean, remember the one I did? I took a pot on the fire outside to heat up the water until it finally got hot enough to boil. It just took longer to get the heat energy to boil. That's all.
You could use cold water, it boils faster.
Yeah. I think it's bush water. If you use bush water, it definitely boils.
You can get like great little tiny stove things for camping, and you just use little sticks, and you can boil a cup of water on it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Pocket rock.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Jaren, you just showed to be a liar once again. Congratulations.
It can boil at different temperatures depending on the vessel, depending on the type of water. There's so many variables. And so I proved it wrong. So what did they...
Yeah, type of water. Keyword here. Type of water. Contaminants cause it to boil. But we're talking about water. Did we say what type of water, guys?
I boiled salt water as well.
Ah, yeah, and it also did the same, correct?
Yep.
You see, Jaren brought up references and citations for lab experiments where they have very controlled distilled water. Correct? Why? For a certain purpose, Jaren.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Then you can have a damn it.
Last time I checked, none of us here drink distilled water or try to boil distilled water, do we?
No.
Or is it
Well, if you notice when you boil a pan off, anything that was in the water gets left behind anyway.
Ah, yeah.
So whatever's in the water is irrelevant to the boiling point.
Or pure water, is Arwen says, exactly. This is how dishonest this guy is. Because we actually had a stream where I showed all the Skype messages between us, where I was trying to explain this exact thing to Jaren. And what did I get in return? Oh, swearing at me and harming me while I'm trying to explain to him, listen, yeah, dude, this is not how it works.
Didn't he ask you to have a penis competition? No.
I think you'll get embarrassed if you had to have a penis competition with me, mate.
Nice.
Ask him if he can boil water by stirring it with his penis.
Oh,
Okay. Let's try this again. We're just not getting through his opening statement. Sorry, guys. Really trying.
They do. Did they admit that they were wrong?
How did
No,
they
they
get
just
to that?
changed it and pretend.
Sorry? Sorry, Jeff?
Oh, sorry, I accidentally hit my mute. Sorry.
Oh, yes, the question.
That the whole time they were saying heat causes water to boil. They completely changed their opinion. Didn't tell anybody. They just kept a new line of thinking. So again, the moral of the story is that I want Flat Earth Debate to shut the fuck up about me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you do want them to shut up because we're all talking about how stupid you are and showing everybody how stupid and lying you are. Note, guys, this only happened because Nathan wanted to send an olive branch to Jaren to make peace. All Jaren had to do was say, yes, I apologize for calling you a scammer because you say science proof things. That's all he had to do. Note, instead of doing that,
Buffering.
yeah,
As a Christian, I want him to stop slagging Bible off and God lied, but he won't.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
They're saying guys, they're saying it's buffering. Oh,
Yeah,
and we're back. Okay. Say again what you said, just in case.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, say
Yeah,
again.
I said I want him, as a Christian, I want him to stop slagging Bible off and God.
Yeah.
Me too, because he makes a point of doing it. It's not like he's just like a passive thing. Oh, the Osler isn't a god, you know what I mean? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
he makes a point of slagging off the Christian gods.
he has actual streams on it.
Yeah,
He does
exactly.
actual streams
He
on it.
doesn't deserve to use that.
No. The guy is literally a perverted sicko. I mean, he says he's glad his wife could sleep around before they met him. He met each other.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Okay. That's everyone for their own, I guess.
Well,
As far as I know, the Bible teaches me to have one wife.
alright.
But his argument is, oh, you should test drive the car before you buy it.
It's not a car.
No,
Simple.
precisely. But anyway, like I said, Jaren, doesn't really come across as a very truther kind of guy, is he?
Well,
He's very hypocritical on what he wants to talk about as well. It's okay for him to do shit, but it's not okay for someone else to point out he's wrong. So yeah, FED, everybody stop talking about Jaren. Please.
yeah, and stop putting Jaren on your thumbnails, Nathan. It's terrible, man.
Yeah,
Know what I mean?
how dare you? It's a sacred image, that.
You know? There's no engraving images, doesn't it? Come on.
They need to talk about some other man or something because it's really kind of strange. And just like I don't talk about them, they don't need to talk about me. But when I say science,
I don't talk about them. Okay, guys, should we go look at Jaren's...
He's got a little bit of an ego there, hasn't he? But he's big-headed with it. He's like, he wants us to talk. He wants people to talk
Guys?
about him because it gives him something to boast about.
Okay, here we go. Let's. I don't talk about them. Let's see how he lies again, guys. What's this? The scammer scam. What is the scammer scam about? Oh, would this be the FED crew?
It's like, well, I would be cordial. I think you'd be cordial. We could do some sort of time. Again, we're going through the conversation. We're going. Nathan Oakley tells me to do ever.
Great debate, by the way.
Oh, sorry. Did you not say you didn't talk about them? You don't show them. What is this on screen? Huh.
Yeah.
Jaren the liar. We should call you now from now on Jaren the liar, because I think this is what, the 5th lie we've picked up since your opening statement.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's lots of lies still.
Listen, right, if you want to be on YouTube, right, and sway people's line of thinking, then expect people to say things about you. If you don't like that, don't be on YouTube.
Yeah. If he's gonna be as Del says, a wee fanny about it, then he should just leave.
Jaren, you wee minge fanny, yeah.
You're just a wee fanny. Just get off the show. How dare you? Oh wow.
Science doesn't prove things. I am correct in every possible way possible. Let me explain why. If you are going to prove something, then it means that there is no other option. Okay, that's
No
what
shit,
proof means.
Sherlock.
It means that you have no other alternative, that you've checked all the variables, that you are a perfect human being. The only people.
What? You are a perfect human being. That's got nothing to do with scientific method, Jaren.
If you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, let's put it this way. Proof. Okay, this is proven fact. Heat causes water to boil. Okay? That is a proven fact, Jaren. Hence why you got things like geysers and water boilers. Heck, steam engines. Everything that works on thermodynamics is based on heat energy. Heat causing water to boil. This is a proven fact, Jaren. The mere fact, just because you don't understand, you have different hypotheses for a different thing, doesn't mean heat doesn't cause water to boil. It just means you're an ignorant moron. I want this guy to go up to any mechanic or engineer. Well, Jeff's an engineer, correct? Jeff, do you guys have something that you have to compensate for the heat for work?
Well, of course you do.
Yeah, because it exists, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's proven, correct? Because if it wasn't proven, your
Yes.
work wouldn't exist.
Everything has a thermal measurement on any device that we install.
Exactly. Yeah. So Jaren, guys, is so stupid and ignorant, he doesn't know what thermal means. He thinks thermodynamics doesn't exist. And he's going to say this is straw man. No, it's not. You're literally denying heat causes water to boil, which is the basis of thermodynamics, Jaren.
That could ever claim such would be God and Jesus, not QE and Nathan Oakley. QE and Nathan Oakley are fallible human beings. They're biased, fallible human beings. Why would you ever accept science that comes from biased human beings unless, again, you can...
What? They didn't create the scientific method. Last time I checked, scientific method came from philosophers a few hundred years ago, correct? Or am I mistaking something? Nathan and QE, were you alive about 100 years ago or something, or 200 years when you decided to make the scientific method? Did I...
Unless they invented the time machine or something like that.
Yeah. Really, Jaren? This is how idiotic the guy is. He doesn't even know it's a method. It's got nothing to do with bias. And by the way, it's an empirical method that takes all biasness out of the equation.
Can I just answer some of what's going off over this saltwater business, right?
Mm-hmm.
I found out how much salt content within sea ratio to water and made exact same ratio in a pan and boiled it, and it still boiled at 100.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Have multiple people do it. You can run it through tests over and over again, and we can get as close as possible to the truth. But there's nobody in their right mind that would ever say oh no, we can do a test, we can get to a conclusion. If P then Q, we can get there, and then from that point on, we never have to look at that again. That's actually what Nathan believes.
No, that's not what he believes. By the way, guys, this is also a lie from Jaren, where Nathan actually asks him to bring up where he said that, and Jaren says, bring up what? That's what Jaren says. After Nathan says, okay, show me saying this, because I've never stated this. Oh no, I heard it. Okay, then bring it up. He never brings it up, people.
You can't.
And he might try and bring up here, oh, well, why don't you go after Dave Weiss? He says science proof things. Why don't you go after Austin Whitsitt? He says science proves things. I guarantee you, right now, if we call either one of them and say, does science prove things 100% unequivocally? They will all say, absolutely not.
That's also a lie. We actually had Whitsitt on my stream saying science proves, correct? We've had Whitsitt on Nathan saying science proves.
Yeah.
And Nathan is even going to have later on David Weiss saying science proves. Jaren. Wow. I've lost count with all the lies already, Jaren. And we still haven't even got through the opening statement. This is sad.
See, so that's the difference. We've got people that are honest, people that can admit when they're wrong. But when I say scientific proof, I don't mean it like that. I get it. Nathan can't do that. Nathan can't say, oh, you're right, Jaren. We wouldn't know that every bit of the variables have been covered. So,
okay, now we have to explain this. A scientific hypothesis is the systematic postulation for having one cause for an effect, Jaren, not multiple causes. So if I write a hypothesis, heat causes water to boil, that is what the cause would be. Heat, okay? Heat causes water to boil. Now I can make a different hypothesis if I want to, because now I've validated or invalidated my hypothesis. Either my null or my hypothesis has been validated. Now I can say, okay, heat at 100 degrees Celsius will cause water to boil. You get it? That's a different hypothesis. Or different amounts of heat change water to boil at different altitudes, Jaren, or different pressure gradients. That's, again, a different hypothesis, Jaren. Not the same hypothesis. But what is the same? What have you guys wrote us? What's the cause for the water to boil? Would that be heat? The same cause, different hypothesis, Jaren. You just make a different hypothesis. Science equivocally goes and either proves your hypothesis or disproves it. You can't invalidate something without validating. Validation is proof. It's an empirical. Literally, if I go and take heat and add heat to boil water today, it will be heat boiling the water tomorrow. It will never change. Why? Because it's proven. It's proven, okay? Everybody can go and test this for themselves. Heat causes water to boil.
Well, maybe in future they might have cold fires.
There is cold fires, by the way. But it doesn't cause water to boil because it's not heat. There's no thermal energy. Jaren. But you understand how stupid this guy is? Heat will always cause water to boil. You proven the cause for the effect observed. You've proven it. If I create a hypothesis, heat causes water to boil, and someone goes and takes that exact same hypothesis, they have to do what the hypothesis and experiment detail. Okay? They can't go and change now the variable and saying, I'm testing that hypothesis. No, they're creating a different hypothesis to test.
Yeah, I think what Jaren's trying to get across is that even though we've proved that heat might cause water to boil, there might be some kind of other mystical reason why heat might boil as well, but we'll never know. You know, and I think that's what he's trying to grasp at, saying that it doesn't prove anything.
But
we can find out that one thing might prove it, but there might be a whole different other reasons why it's happening, but we can't tell.
It's mental, isn't it?
Yeah, but
Well, hey, how you doing, guys?
hey, how's it going?
You have to go into what if land to figure out what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna tell you what the problem is. Until he does that, until somebody else does that, and how long has water been boiling for now? How many centuries? He's just blinded by vindictiveness and bitterness against Nathan. If anybody else was telling them this, whether it be McToon, who he had a nice massaging lesson with in his last debate, where they were very soothing and comforting to one another. He despises Nathan. He despises Nathan that much that he's blinded by his personal bitter feelings to accept the truth. That's all to it.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, let me ask you guys a question. If I now go and test the hypothesis, heat causes water to boil, okay? I've validated now with experimentation. You guys go and take the exact same hypothesis. You guys see, okay, yeah, heat causes water to boil. Okay, you validated it. Now someone else goes and says, I don't think heat causes water to boil. That would just be stupid because it's been shown proven. People have been getting the effect by causing water to boil by adding heat. Now, you can make a different hypothesis and say, okay, I think it's not heat that causes water to boil. It is now pressure, as Jaren would say, okay? Would that be a different hypothesis? Pressure causes water to boil, correct?
Yeah.
Now, does that invalidate heat causes water to boil? No.
No.
Exactly, because no matter how many times you go and put heat to water, it will boil.
Yeah.
So it's proven. Can pressure also cause the water to boil? No, because pressure just causes it to degas. That's the point, okay? But that doesn't mean there can't be more than one cause for the same effect. You just validated both causes for the same effect. Get it?
I got a question. Do you think that Jaren is maybe misconstruing the point? He in his head, even though he's saying water is boiled by heat, he's thinking we're saying that the only thing in the universe that can boil water is heat. Do you think that he's feeling that way?
I think that's exactly what the
I think that's what it is.
He's so narrow-minded. Yeah, he's so narrow-minded. He thinks because you've proven a hypothesis true, you're just throwing it away and not being able to figure out, okay, there's another cause for the same effect. You do have things in nature which is more than for the same effect that just has a different cause. Okay? That doesn't mean that the cause you had was falsified. It still caused the effect. You've proven it when you did the experiment to validate your hypothesis. Okay? It was proven. So no matter how much times you're going to go back, and let's say now, just out of factory sake, he says, okay, pressure did cause water to boil, which it doesn't, it's just degassing. But anyway, you can still go later on and say, okay, heat caused water to boil. Same effect. Only difference is pressure doesn't cause water to boil because you don't get steam. There's no thermal transference. There's nothing. When you put water in a vacuum, it degasses. There's not boiling. It looks like it's boiling, but that doesn't mean it is boiling. Boiling is specific to heat transference. That's what boiling is about. Did I make it clear?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's go back to the video.
So just because we have, and he talks about it like it's logic, like it's math. Okay, computers use math. They use zeros and ones. Okay, humans do not. So it's much different. It's not just if P then Q, and we just...
Ferris Fifa. Yeah, degassing. It means the pressure is so low that remember, water is H2O. So the oxygen is trying to escape. Thank you, second law of thermodynamics, which the globers hate. It's trying to escape. So it's trying to fill the available volume. That's all that's happening. It's degassing. The oxygen in the water is trying to separate and go into the available space. That's all that's happening in a vacuum. The bubble is not boiling. Because when it comes to boiling, you get what we call steam. So I tell anybody to test this. Stick your hand over in a vacuum and see if you pick up any steam when it so-called quote-unquote boils. It doesn't boil. It's just ignorance.
Just throw in some numbers and everything works and it's perfect. No. Every experiment that's ever been done in the history of man has got to go through the mind of a human being. There is no test that ever comes out with an answer that isn't run through the mind of a human being who could be very biased. And I'll just give 2 examples of that and then I'll turn it over to Nathan, and he'll, you know what he's going to do. It's just going to be the same thing that we've heard for the last, who knows how long, 2 years. If P, then Q. Science does prove things. You prove you're null. You know, all these things. So anyway, for instance, the thing that they...
Simple. You're an asshole.
Excuse me, Flats. I just want to mention something as well. Where's the natural phenomena with the vacuum? We're not talking about the glober's fantasy mind of vacuum up there. I'm talking about you have to actually go through the man-made manipulation of creating a vacuum that we don't exist within or around on a daily natural basis. So that whole vacuum test of experiment really doesn't match with the real scientific method, because the scientific method is about the hypothesis of a natural phenomena, which we see springs, hot springs. You know what I'm saying? We see things happening where water boils on a regular. Even if it's hot outside, you know what I'm saying? If it's real hot outside, or where you're near a fire, things like that.
I mean,
those are natural phenomena. Yeah. So why do we even listen to people like Jaren that says, well, if you like this guy Chike said, if you went to Jupiter, he said something about Jupiter. Jupiter, at 500 degrees Celsius. Yes, this guy Chike said 500 degrees Celsius, water doesn't boil. And then he said, well, what did you ever do an MRI? Who has an MRI?
What?
Who has an MRI machine in their garage?
That Chike is really wow.
But I mean,
but these are the things. These are the things they say.
I mean, let's go back to now the first step of the scientific method. You have to observe a natural phenomena. So in other words, I'm walking up a mountain and I say, oh, there's a hot spring. Look at that steam coming off of this water and it's bubbling. So in other words, it's boiling. I wonder what would cause this boiling. While you walk up to it to go and investigate, you stick your hand in. Oh, it burnt my hand. Obviously, it's hot, so therefore heat. So I'm going to sit back and think, while it's hot, I see steam coming off and I burnt my hand. So obviously heat is the cause for this bubbling, for this boiling. I will go and make a hypothesis for this. Obviously, I'm the first person to discover this, so the second step doesn't count yet because there's no data in recorded history to say, yes, people have tested this out. So I'm the first person. I go and I test, ooga, 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 I make fire. Okay? And you stick water over this fire. And you realize, it's getting hot. It's starting to steam, but it's not boiling yet. I wonder if I can go and I change the amount of water I need to boil. Or if I need to make the fire hotter to make it boil. This is called systematic experimentation, Jaren. You're changing to work out to get the... Yeah, sorry.
So let me just add that when you're writing your hypothesis, you're stating that you're doing this test at 1 atmosphere. So up a mountain,
that's
vacuum
control. Yeah,
is not to do with it because you've stated where you're doing it. You're doing it at 1 atmosphere. So it doesn't matter whether mountains and bullshit.
Yeah, but like I was saying,
just people twisting it.
Yeah, that's a control. That's all it is, just control. Because when you do an experimentation, you need controls, so you keep your variable which you're manipulating the only varied manipulation variable. So in other words, the only thing you are changing is your presumed cause.
Yep.
This is what's systematic about it, because you're going and saying, this is the cause. I'm trying to recreate what I observed in nature. So if I say I've recreated what I've seen in nature based on what I'm saying the cause is, therefore I've validated my hypothesis. Otherwise, I've validated my null if I did not see the observed phenomena. Now that doesn't mean you should just stop and say, "Oh, I didn't put enough heat, so it didn't boil, so therefore I was wrong." No, that's what's called systematic. You go and try doing something else based on the cause. Like I said, making it hotter maybe, or adding less water in the pot, or whatever, Jaren. Maybe using a different type of heat source. The point is, the cause is still heat.
Hey,
Mr.
check this
Sparkles,
out.
hold up 1 minute. Mr. Sparkles, you're not clue what you're talking about, mate. What, you just know that water's boiling, so you want to try and find cause. What are you talking about? Fires under it, hot
No
springs.
one said any fires underneath.
That's rubbish, mate.
Yeah, that's just a red herring.
No, nobody said anything about fire. Just said heat.
Yeah, that's a red herring.
You see a natural phenomenon, something happening, so that's an hot spring. You then want to wonder why, what's causing that water to be boiling.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yep.
He said was heat does cause water to boil. So last night I went to my oven, and let's say I was doing a test, and you have to go back in the past because I'm just trying to say that this is before we realize certain things. But I put a pot of water in my oven and turned it to 400 degrees. Said, okay, well, that's definitely going to boil, right? 212 is the boiling point Fahrenheit of water. So I checked it at 212, and guess what? It wasn't boiling. Well, okay, well, it's got to boil by 300, right? 300 degrees, wasn't boiling. It's got to boil by 400 degrees, right? The oven got to 400 degrees, no boiling of water. So if I was doing some sort of it.
Sorry?
He didn't do that.
No, he didn't.
And nobody did that. Why don't he stick his arm in that oven after it passes 212? And
you broke up.
I said he's an idiot.
He is, yeah. I mean, who sticks a pot of water in an oven? You do what Michael did. You stick it on the stove, or you stick it on a fire, or whatever. You literally
because doesn't it have to be like direct heat?
Yeah, it's induction.
Yeah, tell him to take cookies on the cookie tray and put it in the oven, and then take another tray of cookies and put it right on the fire, and see what cookies burn quicker. He doesn't even know how to apply the heat.
Well, this
is the result.
This is literally on par with the dumbest thing I've heard with Fight the Flat Earth, when he says independent variable is waiting.
Yeah, time.
Cause for T strength, waiting.
Yeah, I remember. I was about to mention, at least, I mean, I remember who was it we were talking to that says that time causes water to boil. I was going to mention that. I was been in my head for about 10 minutes. Yeah. It was Fight Flat Earth, wasn't it?
Yep. That's crazy.
Another clown who don't know what science is. And let me just remind everybody, right? When I first come into this arena, Fight the Flat Earth were telling me science-proof globe.
Oh yeah, guys. By the way, where do I go now?
Close the book.
If you guys haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel. I see he's only got 204 subscribers, which is bad. 208. So if you haven't subscribed, please do.
Yeah, you've done that.
Okay.
Well, back to that. Science proves the globe. Is the globe a natural phenomena, or is it a noun of a fantastical thing?
I just want to see where we're. Yeah, the globe is not science.
I mean, the globe is a noun. It's not a natural phenomenon. I mean, now, the growth of a leaf on a branch from a tree, observing that can be a scientific. You know what I'm saying? They don't even know the freaking fundamental. I mean,
okay, let's take gravity for instance. Now, let's say a guy walks and he sees a leaf fall off a tree, and you want to say, okay, I've observed the leaf falling from the tree. What is the cause for this? The globe is just going to gravity. Did you observe gravity? No, you didn't observe gravity. You made up a biased thing in your mind saying something has to be pulling it to the ground. Correct? That's not science. That's pseudoscience because you've got your own bias interpretation. You got an opinion based on what it's supposed to be. So, if you say gravity, then okay, fine. First of all, what is gravity?
Mm-hmm.
And then go and please vary and manipulate gravity to prove it.
No, it was never observed first. How can it be scientific? Never been seen.
And then you can't go and manipulate gravity, correct?
Mm-mm.
So it's not scientific. Hence why we haven't got, to date, in history, any scientific hypothesis and experiment at all.
That's right.
Okay, we're going to start from here. We're at the original D-Rose. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Check links in description.
The other thing is, when arguments like you're going to need a flat plane to do celestial navigation come up, it makes us look so dumb because...
You see what I'm saying, why he's not a flat earther?
Mm-hmm.
He's literally fighting for globe now, guys.
Yeah, this is where he says that you can have a baseline on a globe.
Uh-huh. So he says it's a stupid argument to say you require a flat earth to do celestial navigation. This is from someone that's supposed to be a flat earther that's denying this?
Because they didn't come up with it. They didn't discover it, did they?
Yeah, because just like Whitsett, remember when he came on my show and said, oh, the horizon is redundant. And what is Whitsett debating these days constantly? The horizon. Yeah, so he comes on my show, tells me, no, it's stupid argument. It's redundant. I should stop talking about it. And then he goes, and these days it's all he debates is how optical the horizon is. Yeah, really weird.
Can I just say it's pathetic how these ballers are obsessed with Darwin?
I know.
You're like little kids in a playground.
I know. Stupid, man. Stupid. I mean, how old he is? I mean, you've got to be the same age as us, 40 odd, stuff like that. It's just ridiculous. Just idiotic stuff about Darwin.
Yeah.
It's idiotic. Yeah,
let's just pretend for a second, even though I can't imagine why anybody would ever believe this, but let's pretend for a second that we live on a sphere. Could we do celestial navigation? And the answer is
no. The answer is no. Why? Because the angles can only work on a flat baseline. If you ever know what a sextant works, you would know it requires the horizon to be a horizontal plane. But no, you go and listen to ballers like McToon, which shows, guys, this is why it's evident to me that this guy's not a flat earther. He's literally fighting for the globe. He brings up a hypothetical globe in celestial navigation to defend it to a flat earther. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you grasp what's happening here?
Yeah.
He's
It's
literally,
compelling.
he's literally talking to another flat earther and he's saying, let's imagine for a minute a globe. Why?
I know. Exactly.
Very suspect, innit?
Definitely. You're a flat earther and you're seeing baselines work on a globe, and you stick. You know what I mean? You're sticking up for it. You're sticking up for globe rhetoric. You're coming out with globe rhetoric yourself, and you're saying you're a flat earther, dude. You're not.
yes, because you're just taking your angle to a star.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
you can take it to a star. Would an angle require two straight lines? Would the adjacent have to be flat?
Yeah.
Has
Unless you're looking at unless it's a dunce hat, you know, the way the dunce hat is that he should be wearing. It has a pointy top.
I'm gonna bring something up on screen, and then I want Jaren to see if he knows what this thing is. Jaren, this would be a protractor. Okay. What are these things? Would that be angles?
Yeah. Looks like angles tonight.
Yeah. So anyway, well, let's use the one with the lines better. I think it'll actually look better. The ones with the lines. You see this red line? Okay, that would be a 90-degree vertical. Where is the adjacent, guys? Would that be the floor?
Yeah.
Sure would be.
Is that adjacent curved?
No.
Huh. Okay, so let's try and do celestial navigation quick. I go and I measure the star at its parent position at 30 degrees. Now note what an angle is. Two straight lines meeting at a vertex. Where am I standing to observe the star at 30 degrees?
At the vertex.
At the vertex.
Yeah.
On the straight horizontal baseline.
That you need.
Now, Jaren, if that is a curved adjacent, would that even be an angular reading? No, because the separation would differentiate between every point on that line, showing he is literally a moron.
And a glober.
Yeah. How's the votes looking so far? 67 votes. Jaren should just leave as he is not for truth. Yes, he is not a flat earther. 76%, and no, because we need lying bullshit, 24%. Jaren needs help.
XB black eyes to them baseline in the ground, but yeah, you do dip correction to get your eye to sea level, plus your boat sailing on sea level. So yeah, it's all to do with ground.
And when you use the sextant, you require the horizon to be visible. That's why if you can't see the horizon, you create an make an artificial horizon, because you need an exactly horizontal reference datum to work it out. So it has to be horizontal. And when you use a sextant, you bring the luminary down to touch or kiss the horizon. Why? Because you use the horizon for this. Not even the Globers want him, guys.
Jaren's not a Glober, he's not smart enough. Listen, if you're a Glober, you're not smart, mate.
No. But I mean, that shows you how dumb the guys. They're not even the Globers want him.
Well, you're stuck with him. Sorry.
Well, he is one of you, so.
Are you telling me there's no angle to a star because you're on a sphere? That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Now, granted, so is the globe. But we have a ton better arguments. Every one of your housekeeping questions is a better argument than, oh, you're going to take an angle? You need a flat plane for that. No, they don't.
One of his arguments, housekeeping questions, is that you idiot. So every one of your housekeeping questions, Nathan, is better than that argument. Well, it is part of your housekeeping questions. Idiot. Oh, wow.
The Earth, if it was round or flat, where you're standing right now, wouldn't make a difference, right? So can you take an angle to a star? The answer is yes. Simple. So now, again, I don't believe we live on a sphere, but I'm not dumb enough to say, oh, you're going to need a flat plane to do angle measurements. Well, they're not making triangles. They're just taking an angle to the...
Ooh.
That's because you're a feces juggling monkey trainer from a carnival. That's why you don't... I mean, I just can't believe the things that he said. And that's why I said Nathan was very poised, because anybody else that said that on FED as a guest, he would have went in on him hard. He just let him speak and make a fool of himself. And it was brilliant.
I just want to bring up something. Okay. There we go. What's that on the toon screen?
Triangle.
Who's that sitting there? Jaren. Jaren? What did you just say? No triangles. Heck, he tried to measure parallax using a triangle. He literally told you they have it as a flat baseline for the triangle to work. Now you just say they don't have triangles. Okay. Let's quickly go to celestial navigation.
Now, Flatzoid, be careful because you know how they do the locality of the celestial navigation. They're not trying to travel 50 miles and greater. They're traveling maybe 5 feet. That's why they don't think. So just keep that in mind.
What is a celestial triangle? Azimuth. I don't know. Maybe they don't use triangles, do they? I don't know. Maybe because Sakatoa doesn't mean triangle, guys. Correct? Does that look like a triangle to you?
A little bit.
Yeah. Weird. We've been through this many times. I'm not going to actually go through this now because otherwise it's a whole stream on its own. Jaren, we certainly do use triangles for celestial navigation. I actually got documents where they teach people to do celestial navigation using celestial navigation triangles. Sakatoa. You absolute abject moron.
Abject moron. That's what QE called me. Exactly them words.
Oh, wow. I see how the stream's going to go until like 4 in the morning.
The star. So I don't get why. And again, this is
sorry.
So you'll be on your own.
Why I call him a scammer. There's no way that he would ever show up here today and be like, "Oh, Jaren, you're right. Oh, Jaren, you're right." If you mean absolute proof, no, science can't bring us absolute proof. He's about to tell you that he can.
But he's not wrong, Jaren. Just because you say he's wrong doesn't make him wrong. It makes you a moron. That's all. Hey, Alaric, thank you for coming. It's as simple as that. Do you hear what he's saying? Because Nathan doesn't want to agree with me, therefore he's a scammer.
Yeah. That's stupid. It's illogical.
Nathan doesn't have to say he's wrong when he's not wrong.
Come up with absolute proof. As if we are perfect and as if we have no flaws, as if we know every variable. It's insane that we're even having this conversation because I can't imagine why anybody would ever take this position. It doesn't make any sense. It's not logical.
No, guys, we've been having almost 2 hours of stream and we haven't got through Jaren's opening yet. That's how bad it is.
I did say that.
Nathan hasn't even said a word yet.
He's just said there that we don't know every independent variable. The fact is we only need to know one. We only need to know if one proves or disproves. We don't need 100 reasons.
That's what the independent variable is.
Okay, guys. IV.
Independent.
Heat. DV. Water boiling. Null. When heat up. Oh, why am I typing in capitals? Anyway, when heat applied, water does not boil. Full stop. How many independent variables do I have? One.
That's it.
Why can you only have one independent variable?
Because it's independent.
Exactly.
There we go.
On its charge.
So not multiple independent variables. How will you know what the cause is if you have more than one? How would you be able to either validate the null or the postulation if you have more than one cause, you wouldn't know which the cause caused the DV.
There might be more than one cause, but we only need one to prove or disprove.
Yeah, I mean, for one hypothesis, that's it. I can now make a different hypothesis. I either prove the cause or I prove the null. Now, we go to another hypothesis. IV pressure, as he puts it. DV water to boil. Null induced pressure and no water boiled. Okay. Is that the same hypothesis? No. Are we trying to get the same effect? Yes. You get it, Jaren? Different hypothesis, different cause.
If we're varying heat temperature, potentially we could test multiple hypotheses at the same time, setting up different burners at different temperatures.
That's why you got controls, yeah.
Yeah,
that's when
varying each independent container at different temperatures.
Yeah, that's when you move into experimentation. Then you have control variables. Like, I want to make sure that it's just the heat that causes the water to boil. So I'll make sure the container stays the same size through all my systematic experimentation. I make sure the pressure stays the same, because all I want to figure out is, does the heat cause the water to boil? So you keep the pressure the same, you keep the container the same, you keep the size of the container the same, you keep everything the same except the cause for the effect.
Right.
That's it. That's what you manipulate.
So what I'm saying is that you could set up, let's say, 5 containers with all the same constant variables. Apart from the heat, where underneath each one is a different heat, so you can test multiple hypotheses at the same time.
Yeah.
And if I could be real brief, just to go a couple of levels up beyond the simple, dumbed down version that Nathan provided for Jaren boiling water. Dr. Thomas Cohen, during this 2020 situation to the present, him and another doctor, Andrew Hoffman, and a few other doctors who are in the epidemiology and virology and all that. And they did studies and everything since this thing was a 20th century kind of new founded thing, along with the John D. Rockefeller and, the pharmaceutical thing. But anyway, they wanted to find out, how do people get sick? And, I know you heard this. There were some people that were sick and they took their snot and everything and they rubbed it in the noses of other people, and it didn't affect those people. So that was one way that they was able to do the no, you can't get sick by spreading the bacteria or whatever, or the virus or whatever they claim to be, from people to people, because they made them breathe in their face, cough in their face, took cultures of their saliva, put them on them and everything, and there was no results to prove. So that was the no. Then there was another thing where they took a sick organ from a animal that died, and they threw a lot of toxic things at it to destroy the cell tissue. And the cell tissue died. These exosomes came out. These exosomes were what they saw that was breaking off from the cells, which they had deemed as being maybe the viruses that people claim what it is. So then this is what they did. They took a healthy organ from a animal that didn't get sick, and they did the same exact process that you're saying, Flats. They put the same exact toxins. They didn't change anything at all. The only thing that changed was that this was an organ from a healthy animal. Guess what? They got the same results. So Dr. Peebles and Dr. Fees, whatever his name was, both of them came to the conclusion that their hypothesis was inconclusive.
Exactly.
Which means that, you dig what I'm saying? So whether you disprove by the no, it doesn't matter. Science.
You're proving something. You're either proving
There
A
you go.
or you're proving B. As simple
There you
as
go.
that. And this is something
Exactly.
Jaren Khan Except, and I can tell you, if they do that same experiment again, it's going to give exactly the same results. Why?
Yes, they will, but they don't want to do that. They don't want to do that, though.
But you understand, it will give the same results. Why? Because it's already been proven.
Right.
Nobody says
it's
you
empirical.
Yeah, it's empirical. Exactly. It takes all bias out of the method. That's what the method's there for, empiricism. It's objective. It takes the subjective nature, your biased nature, out of the equation. That's what it does.
I believe if Bob were alive and told Jaren the same thing that Nathan was saying, he would absorb it and be acceptive of it and receptive of it. I think, like I said, there's a wall of despise and vindictiveness that's blocking his neurons.
Yeah, I just got to answer Sparkles. He says you need to specify the amount of heat, Flats. No, the amount of heat is based on your control, Sparks. The cause is heat. The amount you vary based on a control in experimentation. You understand? So it's a new hypothesis.
I thought we'd already established Sparkles were dumb.
Yeah.
Yes, it's almost like if you say a 400 pound person can bend the trunk of a car. If you put a 400-pound person on there and they don't bend it, that doesn't mean that weight doesn't bend that hood of that car.
Exactly.
So now you put a 400-pound person and a 200-pound person, but then you dented the car.
Well,
still,
let's take
the
it
two
this
same
way.
things are there. You just added the control.
Or you can control. You can do this. I use an aluminium bonnet, and I use an iron bonnet. It bent on the aluminium bonnet. It didn't bend on the iron bonnet. You see, we didn't change the weight of the guy. We just changed the control, the substance he was sitting on. This is called systematical experimentation, guys. The cause is the same.
Yeah.
You understand?
Well, Mr. Sparkles says, but if you don't add enough heat, you disprove the hypothesis, i.e. to prove the null, and you've reached an inadequate.
No, because if you don't add enough heat, it might just take longer to boil.
It just means you're retarded.
Okay, here it is. Here it is. If your hypothesis is that it takes 102 degrees Fahrenheit to boil water, and when you get to that point it doesn't boil, then that can be something that can be a specific.
But that's why it's systematic.
Rule out.
But that's why it's systematic.
But guess what? 102 degrees is still heat. It's still heat.
Exactly.
Right?
I just want to say thank you,
So you go up to 110, then all of a sudden it boils.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to Underground Tunnels for being a member for 3 months. He says, watch Michael Kahn chats on Tuesdays. Yeah, definitely well worth it, guys.
Thank you. But not next Tuesday because I'm away. The Tuesday after.
Tuesday? So you're saying I might have to stream Tuesday? Is that what you're telling me?
You don't have to, right? But I can't do it from my mum's because the internet's not good enough.
Yeah.
Like we said, Michael, Mum, I'm going to have to take a time out and show me how to do it, and I'll stream when you're off.
But yeah, it's very simple. That's why it's called systematic experimentation. Okay? You do more than one experiment until you get the desired effect for the cause. So, if I've done it now, like he says, put a candle, and I see, okay, I didn't cause the water to boil. You go back to the drawing board and you try again. You understand? Because you've realized, okay, the water is still getting warm. So therefore, it is getting hotter. Maybe I didn't add enough heat or the correct heat, or maybe I didn't induce the heat in the correct way. So you go and do it in a different kind of experiment. You systematically change your variables, controls, to make the cause active. You understand? So in other words, I take a pot of water and I stick it on a fire. Okay, it's getting hot, but it's not boiling. Do I add more heat by adding more wood? Or do I just lessen the amount of water in the pot or change the size of the pot? You understand? That's what it's called systematic experimentation for. The cause would still be heat, because changing the size of the pot does not cause it to boil. You still require the heat for it to boil. Changing the amount of water doesn't cause it to boil. You still require the heat to boil. That's the point. This is so simple. I don't know why I have to explain this. I don't know why Nathan had to explain this to Jaren over and over and over as well.
It's not the same as dealing with ballers, isn't it?
Sorry?
And it same as dealing with ballers.
It is.
I mean, we're doing it as we speak with him in chat.
Yeah, who's that guy? This dude is hot mouth, whatever. That's not systematic. That's bias.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it. So we'll see what Nathan's got to say. But we've all heard it before. This will be no different. I don't know why Nathan thinks that we don't hear his show. We obviously hear his show. I know what he's going to say.
Well, Jaren, I thought you said you don't watch his show. So another lie. We obviously don't listen to your show, but now we do obviously listen to your show. What? I think this is like the 11th lie already in an opening statement.
Nobody is missing the point here. It's just he's missing the facts, and he's got everybody on his team screaming the same thing, and it looks really bad. It just looks really bad. And if he wonders why his numbers are dwindling, it's obvious. They will continue to go.
No, his numbers dwindle because we call out scammers like you, Jaren.
Yeah. And it's what I'm saying. It's all about the amount of jobs we have.
I mean, think about it. Even my channel, because I call people out like Witsit and Jaren and stuff, those diehard cultists will never subscribe to us because we call out their holier than thou ruler for them. You understand? They literally idolize Jaren and them. It's not because we are giving an embarrassing argument. It's because we're calling people out for being an embarrassment to Flat Earth. It's because we're literally calling you out on your bullshit.
That's fact.
You've got to. You can't let. You can't. I mean, I know sometimes you can't because it can't be asked. But you've got to call it out when you know it's not the truth and they're pushing it.
But let me tell you something.
You got to stand up for it under it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but let me make the point here. Who shows the truth? The people that's calling out the truth even though it hurts their channels, like us, or the person that wants to hide like a coward and push bullshit stuff, calling other people scammers because they don't believe in nonsense, which is idiotic. Who's the truther?
Exactly.
Yeah, who's the truther?
He's just tickling his audience's ears. That's what it is.
I'm sorry.
And then he has And then he has the nerve to say that Nathan was his incentive is money. He's all about the money. It seems like if that was the case, but I'm saying though, but look, that is his job, but he's still willing to risk his job to tell the truth.
That's what I'm saying.
Because you've admitted that he's dwindling in subscribers because he stands on truth. Meanwhile, you appease your audience to tell them what they want to hear in order to keep them coming to eat your Kool-Aid that's really mixed with urine. And you tell them it's with spring water.
Exactly, but that's what I'm trying to say. Jaren knows that it's hurting his channel because Jaren's calling him a scammer to his 100,000 subscribers or whatever. Okay? His 100,000 subscribers. He's saying Nathan's a scammer. Don't trust him. Flatzoid's a scammer. You know, all that kind of thing. You're telling 100,000 people plus that person's a scammer. Okay? People that look up to you. What do you expect to happen, Jaren? It's called poisoning the well fallacy. And the reason you're doing this is because we call you out on your bullshit. Because you can't take the heat. You are not a truther. Because if you were a truther, you would not be going around saying, you don't believe the same as me, so you're a scammer. The difference is when we call you a scammer, it's because you're literally scamming people. Okay? We're giving you evidence now, everybody, to show why Jaren is an idiotic, lying, ignorant scammer. And that's fact. Where Jaren just calls people like Nathan a scammer because he doesn't believe what Jaren believes. That's his argument. Where we call Jaren a scammer because he's showed to have lied like 10 times in his opening now.
1 minute. JC23, I've already answered you and you've choose to ignore and then you go and ask somebody else the exact same question you've answered me. It's quite dishonest, mate.
JC's just a troll, mate.
He's just a troll.
JC is a deltard.
He's also stupid, like, so I've just answered him.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just the way it goes when you start to demonize other people in your own community, when you get abrasive and rude and condescending to people that have been here for a long time, start claiming that they're agents. People see that. You may get an influx of people. Remember Validation Boy, Nathan? You may get an influx of people. You may get a big crowd for a second, and then they'll go away. And each time you do that, your crowd will get smaller and smaller. So you could be great. You could be doing great. You could be back to where you were before, at the forefront of all this. But you've chosen.
And then we go look at streams like this. Scam. Talking about FED. Going against what you just said. Yeah.
He's a projecting hypocrite.
Exactly.
Well, that's exactly what he's doing, projection.
Exactly.
Instead, to be an asshole. So congratulations. I hope that you enjoy what you're doing over there. Nobody watches, by the way.
Being an asshole doesn't make you wrong.
Oh, nobody watches, by the way. Well, I can say you're lying. I watch it. Who on the panel here watches Nathan's show?
Yep.
Every morning I'm there. Every morning.
And everybody in chat, who watches Nathan's show? Practically everybody, Jaren. So there's a lot of people saying you just lied again. Idiot.
You're up.
That means he's a projecting hypocritical liar.
Exactly. He's a compulsive liar if it looks to me. I mean, just an opening statement having about 11 or 12 lies, that makes you a compulsive liar, mate.
Yeah. You'll need to have a good memory.
JC23. Yeah. Change density. Egg accelerates. Boom.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So
you've yet to prove
has
motion.
Part of it that off.
Sorry?
Wow. We've only got to a little bit of Nathan, eh?
Yeah. And Khan had to overtalk Nathan. How dare you?
Sorry.
You're so rude. I'm joking. Yeah, it's exactly that. You can change the density and you see acceleration. Was that stationary and then it accelerated, JC? Uh-oh. Moron.
As the empiricism, where you can say categorically at the end of the process, you will have provided proof. And that is contained within the hypothesis, which is a logical statement that would violate the law of non-contradiction if both statements in the hypothesis were held simultaneously true at the same time. Only one can be true and only one can be proven. So the way that a hypothesis works is as follows. You have a suppositional statement, and we're going to call the suppositional statement A. And you have an occurrence. We're going to call the occurrence B.
Okay, I have to pause here.
Now,
why is he not concentrating what Nathan's saying? He's reading comments on screen. That's dishonest, don't you think?
Yeah.
Unless he...
JC23, yeah, I'd love to debate you on the Asylum. Hammer, can we set that up with him?
Wow.
Yeah, I've got someone asking to debate me on your channel.
Yeah, JC.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
JC
believes.
Where can he get hold of you?
In the upward rising earth. So.
Yeah,
it should be good. It should be good.
He's a.
I'm pretty sure he's in the asylum.
Wait. Was that JC23?
Yeah.
Was that JC23?
Yeah.
You mop him. You will mop him.
I just did by telling him an egg can accelerate by changing density, which literally just demolished his whole argument. So.
I know. Oh, motion from stationary. He's.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Hammer.
Back to Jaren. I think Jaren could have been reading the chat thread that everybody was going in on him, because I don't know if he can read the same thing as we all could read on that live yesterday.
No,
it will have been able to.
I don't know if you guys realized the only people that were defending him were the Globers.
Right.
Yep, exactly.
And when the globers are agreeing with you, then you know there's something wrong.
You can't wait, JC. Well, I can't wait either.
I can't either.
It should be fun. It should be fun.
Yeah, because
good laugh.
You know what I'm happy.
You got to get slaughtered.
You know why I'm happy he wants to debate me? Because the main man, Dal, is too scared to debate me.
He's scared, yeah, exactly. So it's good.
Yeah. Retro Ball, thank you very much for your $5 super chat. Really appreciate it. It says, to study whether rocks cause waterfalls, researchers often floated out in barrels to observe more closely. Insert falling over the edge of joke. Yeah. Thank you very much, Retro Ball. Brilliant. Yeah, rocks cause waterfalls, apparently.
Kiwi made a song about that. I'll let him do it whenever he speaks to you. It was funny. It was off of the TLC Waterfall song. He changed the lyrics a little bit to cater to that dumb statement.
Oh yeah, but thank you very much for the super chat. JC, get hold of Hammer and we can organize the debate. Really looking forward to it. And then you can ask your beloved Dal to join in and watch as I can finally then explain uninterrupted why your belief is nonsense.
Yeah. I'm kind of feeling that might happen. There might be a little interruption where they might jump in and all that.
But the thing is, when we have
jump in,
you'll get to slaughter 2 or 3 at once. Then you know what I mean. It's all good.
They can't jump in. That's all the point in doing it on this island.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, of course. I'm not even thinking. I wasn't even thinking. But I was just thinking about what they're actually like. You know
yeah, because Dal's not there to overtalk me and then kick me out when he doesn't want to hear. Don't agree with him.
Right, I forgot. I wasn't even thinking. I forgot it was going to be on the asylum. Yeah, that's cool.
And JC already been on FED and all.
Yeah,
I'm sure he has.
What actually? What debating?
The war JC some arguing Dell's case on
Look at
FED.
this. Yeah, I can't wait to expose your dumb, unsuffiable globe claim. I don't claim a globe. You do when you push equivalence principle. That's globe, you idiotic moron.
Yeah.
The globe doesn't claim stationary. I don't know how to break this to you. The globe says accelerating. I love the laughing in the background. If that's how he's going to come with an argument, I feel sorry for him.
Well, we'll see. I can't wait.
Suppositional statement is that A will cause B. So your supposition is I will vary A and B will happen. Okay, so that's your first statement. It's called an alternative hypothesis. Alongside the alternative hypothesis is the antithesis of your predictive statement in the first instance, aka the alternative. So your predictive statement that A will cause B also has the contrapositive statement that A will not cause B. Excuse me 1 second.
Also note he has to literally write this down. Why? It's a logical statement. You don't have to write down a logical statement. You just have to listen.
The globe literally claims acceleration at the same rate mouth breathers.
The globe claims the Earth is accelerating, JC. Equivalence principle. General relativity, you ignorant buffoon.
Jaren seems distracted a lot.
He does, yeah. But that's what I say, it doesn't
I'm just wondering if he owns a dog. And I wonder if he has peanut butter in his house. I'll leave it at there.
Nice.
But you know what I'm saying? It's like he's trying to take notes from an either A or B logical inference. It's a statement. It cannot be A at the same time of being B. There's no taking notes. It's logical. Either A or either B. Full stop. What the hell?
Got a terrible frog in my throat all day. Okay.
Is this stream live?
So once you've
He's still
got
bent
both
over writing
statements,
something down?
Sorry?
Yeah.
next to each other, A will cause B and
I
A.
have to read this out. Underground tunnels, drawing boobs.
Yeah. Join boobs and underneath and right. Boobies.
Won't cause B. Both can't be true at the same time. Only one can be true. Because to have A both cause B and not cause B at the same time isn't possible.
Mm-hmm.
So, quick affirmation from Jaren. Do you understand that to have A cause B and A not cause B isn't possible? Do you understand?
Sure. You could just go back to what I just said about the waterfall and
What you just said sure, so you just conceded then, Jaren? Yeah.
Where's laughing coming from?
I have no idea, but it's great. But yeah, he just conceded and then decided, no, it's not what I meant. Maybe. Is that what he's trying to say?
and see that we were wrong about, we just did something that did affect it. The removing the rocks stopped the waterfall, but rocks do not cause waterfall. But our test proved that, because we said if I remove these rocks, then the water will stop flowing over the top.
So I'm clear. Your response is rocks don't cause waterfalls. Okay, I'll just try once more. Do you understand that A can't simultaneously cause B and not cause B at the same time? Only one can be proven.
Correct.
Correct.
So
there we go.
One can be proven then.
So then his argument is finished. That's it.
I was just going to say, that's it, isn't it?
Then Jaren doesn't have an argument. He's just conceded. So Jaren, your whole argument then is debunked with that logical statement. Well done, Nathan. And guess what? Nathan just opened talking very nicely to him. He didn't give him one ad arm, didn't get triggered, didn't swear at him, didn't tell him how bad his breath stinks, you know? Didn't have to lie or anything, and he got him to concede his argument.
Mm-hmm.
Jaren.
One can certainly be shown to be more true than the other, but again, in this case, because we removed the rocks and the water stopped flowing,
Not rocks. Not rocks. My example. Just A and B.
Huh?
It just said one can be more truer than other.
What I want to know is, let's take his rock and waterfall scenario. Not A, then B.
Mm-hmm.
What would be the rocks? What would be the water? Where did he get this waterfall and the rocks thing? I've never heard.
But waterfall
what
and
did he-
rocks is not a cause, though. It's not scientific.
But that's what I'm saying. What
Yeah.
is he doing?
I mean, if you go in nature and you observe a waterfall, are you
Right.
going to inference that the waterfall is caused by rocks or
No.
falling water?
Yes, it's just the angle of wherever the water is flowing down. That's why it's coming down. Just like at a water. Ask Jaren, has he ever been at a water ride? Water rides, the water flows down. There ain't no rocks on a damn slide. Come on, man.
But I mean, look at his obfuscation tactic. He's trying to say, yes, I agree. It can only be A or B. So you've proven A or you've proven B. He's conceded that. Now he wants to say, no, waterfall and rocks. Which has got absolutely bugger all to do with the statement just made. He just had to say, yes, I've proven the null or I've proven the hypothesis. That's it. Which he already conceded. I can't claim my right hand is my left hand while having a right hand and a left hand. It's two different hands.
That's it.
But then he'll say, "But I know a friend that knows a friend that knows a friend."
Yeah.
Who has a foot that looks like a hand because he had a cap.
Yep.
Nice and simple. We're not on to experiment stage yet. You're not quite there yet, Jaren. I need you to understand hypothesis construction first.
Yeah, the logic part of it is fine. Yeah. If life worked that way, then you would be correct.
I'm still in the middle of my what?
Life does work that way. You just proven that the hypothesis, scientific the scientific hypothesis proved one or the other. You agreed on it. It proved it. It either proves A or it proves B. It can't be both simultaneously. Proven.
And if it can't prove, then it can't prove the cause, and it can't prove the null, then it's absolutely stupid, pointless.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It can only prove the null if it doesn't prove the IV. If it doesn't prove the cause, it can only prove the null because the null is literally the antithesis of
exactly
of the cause.
Well, this is how stupid it is to say that science don't prove, because then you're saying that you can't prove cause and you can't prove null. So then whatever you're doing is a complete waste of time.
Exactly. It's crazy.
Which is just retarded.
Okay, I'm just going to press play quickly and just going to take my son to the bathroom quickly.
2 minutes of presentation so
I
far.
thought you asked me a question.
I heard you call me a scammer because of, according to you, I say science proves, therefore I'm a scammer.
That's not true.
You understand that only one can be proven, and it would violate the law of non-contradiction. If one was true, but the other was a little bit true, then A would be both causing B and not causing B at the same time, which isn't possible.
Correct.
Third attempt. Do you understand that only one can be proven?
Correct. Again, what do you mean by proven?
That one will be true and the other will be ruled out as false because the other is true. So A causing B can't simultaneously exist along A not causing B. Only one statement can be proven. You can't both cause something and not cause something. Only one can be proven. Do you understand? Yep. Fourth attempt.
And we're not allowed to talk about my experiment?
We're not at that stage. We're at...
Okay. Then I understand.
An experiment is
I get it. We're good.
Of a hypothesis.
Okay, you're right.
First, we need to understand that in a hypothesis, one statement will be proven.
If the experiment's done correctly, yes.
So we can definitely prove things with an experiment then, Jaren.
Again, you want to get into semantics.
Wow. Semantics. So that's his argument, guys. Semantics, when he says, so we can prove something with an experiment. It either proved it.
Does he want to concede?
Yeah, exactly. He said yes, he correct. And then he still wants to fight against after he already conceded.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. This is sad.
What I'm curious to know about this experiment that he did, who's the dumb with the hypothesis that rocks make the waterfall? That's all.
Yeah,
that's all I want to know.
Yeah, I want to ask a question. Who looks dumber? The guy that says logical inference, you either prove A or you prove B, you can't have both simultaneously proven. Or the guy that says, do rocks cause waterfalls? Who sounds more intelligent? Yeah, exactly. He sounds a bit dumb, Jaren. You're an embarrassment, mate. Literally an embarrassment. And I'm sad to have said I had respect for you. I'm literally cringing in my seat right now, knowing I still have to listen to... Wow, there's still far to go. Wow.
Well,
it's not semantics, it's logic.
Right, and logic doesn't go along with human testing of variables. And
what? That's what empiricism is, Jaren. Logical deduction. That's what empiricism's about. Logical deduction. It takes away all biasness. Wow.
Nathan's talking about A and B, but Jaren wants to talk about C for some reason.
Exactly. But do you understand what I'm saying? He says logical deduction off of an empirical method is wrong. Richard Ball, thank you very much for your $5 super chat. Really appreciate it. Says, why are the scientists in Jaren's hypotheticals always complete numpties? Because they're all glow believers. That's why. Thank you very much for the super chat, Richard Ball. Really appreciate all the support, man. You rock. Yeah, that's insane.
And knowledge about
We're not
the
at the
natural world.
stage. Keep doing this. We're not at the experiment stage. We're at
Oh, the
hypothesis stage.
So the things that I'm saying refute this whole statement, but you want to just prove the statement first before we get to the refuting of it?
You don't even have a refutation, Jaren. There's nothing to refute. You conceded. There's nothing to refute. You conceded. Just saying "nah" after you agree is not a refutation. It just means you're contradicting ignoramus. He's actually just dishonest. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Hey, Carl Apple, thank you for coming, mate. Good to see you. And yeah, you're still in time. It's probably going to be a long stream tonight because we practically just passed Jaren's opening, which took 2 hours long.
Well, 2 hours on the dot now, yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. Okay, good.
I've had an affirmation from you already.
Great.
Understand, only one can be proven. You affirmed yes.
No, I say only one can be true.
That's the same thing.
That is semantics.
That's semantics,
Wow.
exactly.
Wow.
So if heat caused water to boil, or heat did not cause water to boil, one was true, one was validated, one was proven.
Yeah, proven.
Only one can be true.
So
yeah, that would
proven.
be proof. True. Not to change tomorrow, not also not going to cause B, but
So it could
only
not
one
change? It couldn't
proven.
change?
No, it can't change.
No. Why would it change?
If heat causes water to boil today, heat will cause water to boil tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Why would it not cause water to boil tomorrow? Jaren?
Broken kettle.
Well, maybe I should do this again. Show on screen my background for everybody. This is dedicated to Jaren. A kettle boiling water. Jaren, according to Jaren's argument, kettles shouldn't exist today, guys. Thermodynamics is false, apparently, because heat doesn't cause water to boil. Wow. Because science. Jeff. Oh, wow.
No, you won't find that if you vary A today and it does cause B, that tomorrow when you vary A, it won't cause B. That would violate third time, fourth time, fifth time, the law of non-contradiction, Jaren.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So
I'd like to conclude my point. You seem to have got plenty of time now. I seem to be getting interrupted quite.
Thank you very much, Lawson, for your $5 super chat. 4 more hours. Is that what I just heard? I don't know if I can do 4 hours.
Not from me, you didn't.
But thank you very much for the super chat. Really, really appreciate it. Well,
I'm already 20 minutes past bedtime.
I must say, I think the you guys did enjoy the last 4 hour special stream. Although I had 6 copyright strikes to get rid of, guys, on one stream. Because of the...
Hey, I was gonna say, if you went through the entire asylum thing yesterday, you will get 4 more hours because 3 of the hours was Jaren having his own therapeutic, self-intervention speech for 3 hours with the rest of the for the rest of the social media cyberspace audience.
Well, if we have to do the math, if we have to go as fast as we went now and do it, we'll probably have to do 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We're going to have a 14-hour stream to still go on if we have to do it the way we're doing it now. Guys, how about another 14-hour stream No.
What about a 24-hour one?
Oh no, I'll die. But yeah, yeah, it is now by me 21 past 11 at night, PM. But yeah, Jaren, oh, it's crazy. And I like I said, give it up for Hammer again. He really held his composure well there. I would have been pulling my hair out, trying to say something to this idiotic arguments. Wow, you really have to control yourself.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Just let them do their thing, you know.
Yep, exactly. But that's why I say you're made for a moderator, not me. Although I can moderate, I've done it before with Sean Hawkins and Brian Leake, and I think I did a good job. I didn't interfere or anything. Although in my head I was thinking, "Damn, this is stupid." But
That was funny because Sean was like, I don't know, they were like quiet, weren't he?
Yeah, which is weird.
What a change.
You to affirm you understand that proves something. You said yes. Now I'll move on. Thank you, Jaren. So, do you want to look down the camera and just say once more that you understand that only one can be proven?
Yep.
So when you call me a scammer because I say science...
Sorry?
Speaking of Sean, he was in that chat last night saying, I'm auditing this on my channel.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I said, I'm streaming this live. I'm like, okay, and who cares?
So what
Oh, like, yeah, you couldn't audit a packet of crisps, mate.
I had somebody talking to him, Michael. What sock was he using?
SGT.
Sergeant Rock.
Sergeant Rock, that's his channel.
Man.
But I mean,
Right,
why would I
didn't see that.
but why would any of us go off from Hammer's channel and go support his channel, where if he just goes, he pauses and said, "Nuh-uh," and then swears at you. That's all he does.
And gives you the eyebrow.
It's like, yeah, the eyebrow. And I mean, how's he going to defend anything, or what's he going to say? Oh, Jaren is right. He's right because I believe angles don't require a straight adjacent. Because he's a moron.
Yeah.
proves things, the hypothesis would only allow you to prove one or other of those statements true.
If you knew all the variables and you knew everything and you were perfect.
No.
What, all the variables? Independent variable. There's not all the variables.
No, just the one.
If you think it's a different cause, you create a different hypothesis. You get it?
Yeah.
You create a different hypothesis if you think it's a different, very independent variable. That's what's called an independent variable.
This is a problem you get when you start thinking you can have more than one IV, because it just makes it into a clusterfuck, doesn't it?
Exactly. It's like blindfolding him, and then someone slaps him. Then you say, okay, Jaren, take the blindfold out. Who hit you? And then he has to say, that person hit me. And he say, okay, what did they use to hit you? How's he going to know? You understand? It could be anybody, and it could be anything. You've definitely felt the sting on your face. You heard it slap you, but you don't know who hit you, and you don't know what they used to hit you with. The same applies for science. You have to say, I believe this is the cause for the observed phenomena which I see in nature. So therefore, if I induce this cause and it does not cause what I observed, therefore I have to go back to the drawing board because it's not the cause. But that's why it comes to systematical experimentation, where, okay, I did not get the cause, the null was validated, but I still believe it to be the cause. So let's go and do some more experiments using the cause to make sure if it's the cause or not. You get it? Systematical experimentation, Jaren. This is literally kid stuff. You learn this in school. You do it until you get it right.
No, Jaren, no, that's incorrect also.
Oh, it's
The
incorrect.
variables we're talking about in this instance are called independent. That means not other variables,
Singular.
but this one on its own that we will be varying.
But what if there's things that we don't see that are happening?
Though, then Jaren, then that wouldn't be your independent variable because it's independent.
But we would still take a test and think that we proved something, but we didn't because we didn't know about the other variables.
We did. You affirmed only one can be true. You can't have a cause B and not cause B at the same time.
You cannot be this dumb.
This is his argument. You cannot be this dumb. We explained this again. I mean, we've explained this how many times? If heat causes water to boil today, it will cause water to boil tomorrow. It always has.
But not on Sundays. Not on Sundays.
Not on Sundays, no. Then heat doesn't cause water to boil.
No. God.
Now, if you think there is another cause for for water to boil, then you just create another hypothesis. You've already validated or invalidated your previous hypothesis, which is now stored for someone else to go and try and validate as well. Or you can try and do it again, but you're not going to get a different result because something is already validated. It either did what you said it would do, or it didn't. So, can there be more than one cause for an effect? Yes. But now, does that invalidate the previous hypothesis, which really already proved it to work? No, because no matter how much times you're going to induce that cause, it will always come with that effect. No matter if there's another sciences, then he doesn't know what a hypothesis is. Sorry, I'm just waiting for it to connect again. I see it's disconnected.
Yeah, it's buffering it.
What's going off with internet and stuff like that?
It's my internet provider. I don't know what's wrong. Okay, back again. Thank you, guys. Sorry about that. I hope you had a little popcorn break. Anyway, you see, this is the problem with these guys, yeah?
Okay.
Can I say something? Okay, anyway, this is the problem with these guys like Jaren. That's why it says he doesn't... that's why I said can't science. Because he doesn't get that a scientific hypothesis is a postulation on what causes an effect observed in nature. Okay? So, if heat causes water to boil today, it will always cause water to boil because I've induced that heat and it caused water to boil. So it doesn't matter how many times I do it, it will always happen because that's what caused it. Now I go and find something else that can cause water to boil as well. And I get it right. Does that mean heat doesn't cause water to boil now? No, because heat will still cause water to boil. You've just figured out another cause which gives the same effect. It doesn't throw away the old proven hypothesis.
Of course not.
Really? That's how idiotic this is.
My bad, I was in the middle of saying the same thing.
I was in the middle of telling you
it's only been 2 years of me saying the same thing, and you calling me a scammer for saying science proves, but now I seem to be constantly being challenged.
Not a scammer for saying science
proves. 10 straight minutes to moan about me. All right,
hey guys.
10 straight minutes.
Oh, I thought it was you guys talking. Sorry.
Hey, Jaren, hold on. Let him finish his.
Yes, Jaren.
Well, then can you just do his thing without asking me questions?
Right. Yeah.
What's that? He didn't even ask him a question. He was giving a statement. Jaren was over talking while he was asking him. He was talking with a statement. He wasn't asking him anything.
That's what he done. He didn't even give Nathan a chance to talk. He just kept interrupting.
But this
is
Nathan.
Nathan quiet all during his ad hom opening. You know
yeah, I mean, did you notice Nathan didn't even have an opening? He just literally went into, okay, let me try and teach you what's going on now. Very calmly, no add-ons, no ugliness, and just ask him, please retract your statement because you already agreed that it's true what I said. That's all. From Jaren literally just over-talked him right through and got triggered all the time.
Nathan has asked him questions, and every answer that Jaren's given has been a concession.
Exactly, when he has asked. But he's not asking a question now. He was just explaining to him a statement. Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, every time he had to answer something, it was a concession, which means Nathan's argument was true.
I reaffirmed that we
That
can
sounds
prove
good.
something at the end of this process, and you affirmed yes, we can prove it.
That's what you need to get your point across. That you need to
Stuttering much?
meet false.
Yes, Jaren, you called me a scammer for this.
Yeah, scammer.
You're wrong.
Not ever admitting that you're wrong about anything.
Sorry.
A scammer for not ever admitting you're wrong about anything. So, Jaren, you admitting yourself to be a scammer now because you're not admitting that you were wrong, that science does prove, correct? What is the argument coming in? Science doesn't prove things. And he's conceded at least 5 times now, science does prove things, correct? Or did I hear that wrong? So by Jaren's own standards, he's calling himself a scammer because he won't admit he's been wrong.
See you later, Jeff.
Cheers, Jeff. Thanks for coming, mate. Good to glad you could make it.
In a bit.
Cheers.
Have a nice night, dude. Or whatever
Remember,
it is,
Jeff, thermodynamics doesn't exist. Heat doesn't cause water to boil.
I am right. You can prove something. Hypothesis ensures that only one will be proven.
Nope.
You conceded already. How many times did I say no?
Nope.
The denial. Oh, wow.
Can't
So
even
you
look
say
at
that A
camera
can
when
both
he's
simultaneously
saying
No, he can't.
cause B and not cause B at the same time, Jaren.
We could have scurvy, and so we.
LSG by default, that's correct. Every flat earther is someone who admitted they were wrong. Exactly. We were all globe believers once. We admitted we were wrong believing the globe was true. Therefore, yes, by default. But the thing is, Jaren doesn't want to admit he's been wrong, even though he's conceded multiple times that Nathan's argument is true. Science proves. He's just admitted it like a few times, like 4 or 5 times, I think.
He's a freaking idiot. An absolute idiot. Yo, I was going to say Titan. We all do that. I've done that before. I've pocket banned someone before. But you didn't ban anything. I mean, it was just a comment.
Yeah, shout out Titan Long.
I was only messing, like I didn't really.
I know. He didn't mean it. He obviously didn't mean it.
I think maybe we need to give these people vitamin C. So we give them a little bit of vitamin C and it doesn't do anything. And we give them a little bit more and it doesn't do anything. And we then from that say, oh, you know what? It's not the lack of vitamin C causing scurvy, but we didn't know we had to give them a certain amount. And that's the problem. And you can't see that.
But this is one thing I want to say. That is wrong way of thinking about it, Jaren. If you want to figure out if the vitamin C is the cause, you take it away completely. You literally, like Nathan says, you deprive them of it. You're not going to give them little amounts and give them more to work out if it's going to keep them alive. You deprive it. You take it away. They get nothing. And they say, okay, I deprived them of vitamin C, therefore they died. Let's start giving them now. And then you systematically work out how much they would require.
But they've also like looked and thought like what's going off here. You know what I mean? So they noticed that there was something that they weren't eating.
Exactly.
You know, it wasn't
It
just
was
a stab in
observed.
dark.
Yeah, it
Ooh,
was observed.
vitamin C, just a stab at dark. You know, they must have had some idea.
Yeah, but this is the
Well,
problem
in the
Jaren
first
has.
place.
Yeah, but this is the problem that Jaren has. He doesn't understand you observe a natural phenomenon. This is step 1. They first observed it. And then they came with logical inference based on their observation. Say, let's figure out what the problem is. Titan Long, thank you very much for your 1 membership. Really, really appreciate it, mate. You rock. Yes, Richard G, he's lost.
And nicely caught by Victor.
Mhm.
Oh, nice one.
Yeah, awesome. Welcome, Victor. Thank you very much
Shout
again.
out to Titan. Titan is ace.
Titan is ace, yeah. So yeah, Jaren I'm sorry, but Jaren can't science, guys.
And you can't admit that, and it really makes me think that you're either retarded or a scammer. So you can choose which one.
Projection, Jaren. We're all explaining to the whole wide audience why you are the retarded one here. I'm sure my 7-year-old daughter understands science better than you.
Are you done?
Yep.
I didn't mention scurvy. I kept it on logic. I asked you in our chat before if you'd studied the trivium at school. I understand now from your dissemination of your rebuttal that you don't understand the difference between quantitative and qualitative measures in logic, because you've just told me about how much of something. That's not what I detailed in the logic of if A, then B. That's not scurvy. That's a hypothesis.
Okay, so when we're using letters, if A, then B, then you're right. Then yes, those things can be proven. We can, those letters can be proven. If A.
So science proves then, Jaren. It proved the cause, or it proved the null. Therefore, retract the statement that Nathan is a scammer for saying science proves things. Correct? Let's try again. I don't know how much more longer we can go on with this because it's
I was just gonna say, in a bit I'm getting off.
because this does go on for a long time still, where they just go back and forth with the same thing.
A, then B, all that's correct. That's not real world, but you can go ahead and pretend it is.
It is real world. It's testable.
So you believe that tomorrow, if I vary the vitamin C content, as you brought it up, of a gentleman, he won't die of scurvy?
If what?
If I remove vitamin C from a person tomorrow indefinitely, you think that tomorrow A will not cause B and he will not die of scurvy,
I never
according
said
to
that.
you?
No, never said that at all. I don't know where you're getting that
So
from.
we can understand then that A causing B will still be the same tomorrow then, and in that specific example of a scientific evidence, before you start interrupting me, you understand that in that example tomorrow a lack of vitamin C won't stop causing scurvy and that A will still cause B. That's A lack of vitamin C causing B.
Would it be wrong of me to say everybody should go and spam Jaren's mail and say watch the stream? Maybe he would learn something. Well,
I think it's not a case of learning.
No, it's
clear dishonesty for whatever reason.
Exactly. He's intentionally being wrong. He's intentionally being dishonest, guys. He's intellectually stupid. He wants to be wrong. I'm telling you, that's what I'm saying. He is an embarrassment to the FE community. He is. 90 votes, guys. Jaren should just leave as he is not for truth. Yes, he's not for flat earther. 77%. No, because we need a lying bullshitter. 23%. Yeah, it's sad. Jaren.
B, scurvy. And tomorrow, a lack of vitamin C, the null hypothesis, has been ruled out and will not change.
Moxie.
Night, Moxie.
Night, Moxie. Good to see you, mate.
I'll not be long as I'm in bed and all.
No, dude. Bless you, man.
I think we can still go on another 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So, I'm getting so hot here. It's summer. It's like almost. It's not summer yet, but it's so hot. I'm sweating where I'm sitting.
We haven't had our summer yet.
Yeah, we're not at summer yet either, but it's so hot. It feels like summer. I think we 38 degrees today. It's just crazy.
It's been empirically.
No, I don't like this heat. I'll take the cold any day.
I kid you not. Nearly all barring that first week in July, all July and so far up to where we are in August, cloudy and rain every day.
Well, let's put it this way. In my spray booth today, I couldn't get it colder than 42 degrees. No matter what I did, it stayed 42 degrees while I was spraying.
I had to put my lights on at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, you said it there. Yeah, I remember you saying that. It was still light here when you said that. It was just about you know what I mean, turned a little bit darker, but yeah, it wasn't dark as you were saying it, was it yours? Crazy, man.
Let's go on with Jaren, the not flat earther. Iron Effie I sat through the original stream. Hard to do. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but Jaren makes it unbearable. And Hammer, you know what I thought wrong about Jaren? You know when Nathan went to go get that clip of Jaren saying he's a scammer for saying science-proof things? He was being very condescending and rude to you. Because he was saying, I don't want to be here. I'm like, what the hell? Then why are you here? It's like Hammer is the gracious host letting you come on the show, and you literally rude to him and say, oh, I don't want to be here. Yeah, it's like you guys are pitiful, you know, like you're below me, kind of the way he said it, which is really idiotic.
Yeah, I'll have to go. Yeah. Is that coming up? I'll have to see that.
Yeah, that's going to come soon. We can actually forward to that point where Nathan's going to go to get that. I think it's around here somewhere.
Thing here.
Yeah, I've just heard it before.
It wasn't rhetorical. Is this your mute button that you're using while you talk through me?
Heard it all before.
I'll try again. I explained in the message. To answer your question, I've already answered in my messages that you didn't read, that I typed out by hand, where I explained that the systematic experimentation stage that I was hoping not to get onto because I just wanted...
Yeah, that was funny. If you guys missed it, Nathan sent them emails. It sounds like they were emailing against it. Jaren said Nathan copied and pasted everything, so he didn't read it.
He only copied and pasted the definition.
A definition. He pasted and copied a definition. The rest he typed out, and Jaren didn't read it. Shows you how closed he is to the conversation. He's not really wanting to know that he's wrong, because if he did, if he was open to it, he would have read it and understood what was being presented.
Wanted you to affirm, as you have,
Because
that we will
this
prove
wasn't-
something based on...
Sorry?
Because this wasn't Jaren's intent for this discussion. It was Nathan's intent for this discussion is to teach the listening audience and to teach Jaren the proper denotative definition of the scientific method. It was Jaren's intent to just express himself emotionally like a woman and say how much Nathan hurt his feelings and how he doesn't like the way Nathan acts. And he can't go nowhere with Nathan because Nathan just shows his behind. That's basically what Jaren got on this thing to do about. Nothing to learn.
Exactly.
Just to complain.
Exactly. Hey, we got a new member. Thank you, Victoria Manny. I know who that is. Thank you for becoming a King Rooster.
Mrs. Crookshank.
Yeah.
Might as well be.
Thank you very much for becoming a member. Really appreciate the support. What did I want to say about Jaren now?
Is a clown.
No. It was something very specific. It was something very specific I wanted to say. No. I'll try and think of it when it comes to mind.
On the hypothesis construction being correct.
Logic.
In the experimental stage, fifth interruption. In the experimental stage, sixth interruption from Jaren, triggered for Fundy using his mute button. In the experimental stage, Jaren, you pass it on to multiple people. So that if someone's so incompetent that they only put one candle under water rather than varying the heat as your independent variable, some other person who is less stupid would do it on their behalf, so it rules out the incompetence on the part of the experimenter. Also, the systematic experimentation stage rules out inadequacies in the experimental setup also. But the experimental setup is just to test the hypothesis. That's what an experiment is. It's a hypothesis test, seventh interruption. It's a hypothesis test to establish if A does cause B or if A does not cause B, because only one can be proven when you do an experiment. As I say, I did explain all of this in your message, but you just hand waved it as being copy-paste in your arrogance with your ego that you already knew this. You didn't think science proves things. What you did do was call me a scammer and then constantly interrupt when I get my 2 cents about what an absolute arsehole you are, for declaring quite boldly that by saying that science proves when that's all it can do, I'm a scammer. Later to go on and say it's because I run a shit show, which is what you've now changed it to. No,
No,
Jaren,
it's not scammers.
that's the 8th interruption. I listened to your boring shite about how crap my show is, Jaren. Now you've got to listen to me.
I didn't ask you any questions, did I?
No, you just need to shut up while I berate you for being stupid and not understanding science.
I love how he
Yeah,
talks
he's like-
over Nathan the whole time.
I know he's a little petulant child. He has to keep doing like Nathan will say, "Look, stop talking over me," and it's like him just going. I mean, he's an idiot.
But you see,
You know,
this,
you know what?
yeah,
You know what? I gave an example of what Jaren behaves like. Jaren is a child in a 4th grade field trip, and Nathan is the tour guide teacher, and Jaren asks the teacher, "What is this, Mr. Oakley?" And as Mr. Oakley's trying to explain so that he and the children can learn, then Jaren runs off and starts disrupting the class by pulling people's ear and saying things and waffling. What the fuck did you ask for? You just asked me a question. I'm trying to explain it to you. Now you're baffling off with your mouth, and you're not allowing me to answer the question. There are other children on this class trip that wants to hear what I got to say.
yeah, but you see, Jaren, this is Jaren's tactic. I think Jaren was forced to come in here because if he didn't show up, he would show, okay, I'm not for truth. I don't want to progress. You know what I mean? And that's why he showed up. But it backfired on him because he got caught lying the whole time, being condescending to everybody, over talking, and showing he has no respect for anybody. You know what I mean? So it kind of backfired on him big time because he's literally showing to everybody. That's hence why I have the stream now, showing why Jaren is nothing but a deceiving, lying glober acting as a flat earther. He's not for truth.
Stone, watch your mouth, mate.
I already timed him out. He said they're both scammers.
We did it at the same time, Flats.
But yeah,
What did he say?
he said they're both scammers.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Shame.
Yeah, this is going to go well.
You could go away if you want, and I can just talk to the audience about science. You want to run away?
Probably. Sounds fun.
Go on then, run away.
I mean, who in their right mind would want to
Shut up! I'm talking, you
talk to
daft
you.
twat.
I mean,
Shut up and listen to me or run away. Those are
But you see, this is Jaren's tactic. He's a baller tactic. Try and get the opponent to get triggered.
Yeah.
So they look like they the one that is being wrong here. You know that's a baller tactic, Jaren. That's something you do when you have no argument. People clapping.
He's a funny dude, you know.
Retroball,
Where's
thank
that
you.
clapping and cheering keep
I
coming
have
from?
no idea.
Is it you, Hammer? Have you put it on it?
That's me doing it. Whenever
No, not
Oh,
me.
it's D Rose.
Is it D-Rose?
Yeah, it's me. Whenever I'm agreeing with you or I laugh what you say, I just do that instead of, turning my mic.
Is that what it is? I kept hearing it. I was like, where's that coming from? I thought someone was watching a tennis match.
Nah, I'm actually applauding what you're saying because I agree, or I'm laughing at what you say.
So I better hope I don't hear boo. Thank you very much. So say Retroball, thank you very much for $2 super chat. Really appreciate it. None of us are half as smart as Witsit. No, he's got the biggest IQ of anybody on earth. I mean, that guy's so smart. He can remember when he brushed his teeth when he was 2 years old. Thank you very much for the super chat, mate. Appreciate the applause, D-Rose, by the way.
Yeah, I love that. I think it's cool.
your choices. Bugger off or listen.
No, I'll keep talking then. How about that? That's my third
You will
choice.
only do the fun demuting trick that Globe.
Oh, you just told me I had two options though, and I didn't choose one of those. So, what do you think?
I think you're a coward, and you don't want to listen to how you're wrong,
Oh,
like you
yeah.
said I was doing.
Yeah, I don't want to listen to him wrong.
Yeah, you are wrong. Science proves it's all it can do at the
Oh,
end of a
boy.
hypothesis test. I explained that to you, and you affirmed.
And
yes,
I can come up
it will
with
prove.
many ways that it doesn't happen. So, and you just don't.
Are you
get
going to
it.
keep debating while I make my?
You haven't come up with one way how it doesn't, Jaren, but what you have done is confirm that it does multiple times. So another lie. We should be calling this stream the lying Jaren. Into the break. Flatzoid, what does an IQ test prove? Ask Jaren for me. An IQ test is just simply a test to see if you understand patterns, logical patterns. That's all.
What people need to be getting is a common sense test.
That's it. Because like pence is not very common anymore, is it?
I mean, I've seen people with low IQs literally put pants on people that's got high IQs. So IQs don't really make a person intelligent, guys. It's just a way to be able to recognize patterns. That's all.
That's true. What nobody leads flat Earth like, but Jaren and co seem to think that they do.
Mm-hmm.
My conclusion. I listened to your conclusions at the start of the show. You weren't interrupted. Now I'm making mine. You're going to interrupt continuously, you coward.
Yeah, let me ask the moderators if they will. Can you put a time on it so that I know when I can speak?
I don't need a timer. I need you to listen.
Well, I need a timer so I know when to talk.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and we'll let him. We'll let Nathan finish. Go ahead and just.
Sure. Damn right you will.
Hey Adam, good to see you, mate.
Yeah, and then once Nathan's done, then we'll have it back and forth.
The slightest idea what science is an idiot.
Not the slightest idea.
No, you
I've
don't.
got about one sentence. Jaren, did you really like your uninterrupted ramble about how bad I am?
Yeah, I can't wait for my next one.
How long do you need? How long do you need, Nathan? Sorry,
I didn't say a damn word. I got straight onto hypothesis construction and got my opponent who says I'm a scammer for saying science proves.
You're gonna hear it now, Hammer. Listen how Jaren is towards you.
To affirm that it proves. That's what I did, Jaren, here today. And every single person watching it knows how scummy you are now.
Wow, that would be hilarious.
If you don't retract your claim that by saying science proves, as you have affirmed here today, that makes me a scammer. I want a retraction, lest you be a total scumbag.
Never said that.
I've got a recording of it. Wow. Do you want me to dig out you saying it?
Sure.
Okay, give me 2 minutes.
Okay. So Nathan's going to pull out me saying that he's a scammer for saying science doesn't prove things.
It's on the beginning of that water video that I'd posted.
So while we wait for that, big shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you for joining us. Hope you're
Listen here, guys. Listen to what Jaren is when a Hammer says.
Enjoying the conversation thus far.
How could anybody enjoy this? It's just like I'd rather be doing anything else.
See? How can anybody enjoy this? I'd rather be doing anything else. Ooh, someone's got a lot of background noise.
Yeah, see, guys.
But you said, dear, how's he going?
I said, see, guys. Now this proves that he's a projecting, hypocritical, cowardice liar.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But I mean, who goes onto someone's show? The host says, "Yeah, thank you all for coming. Everybody's enjoying it." Sorry, D-Rage, you might need to mute, mate. A lot of background noise.
Excuse me. But I have 2 more avocado dressings.
Sorry.
2 more packs of avocado.
D-Rage.
Sorry.
Hey, I want some Szechuan sauce, bro.
Sorry, guys.
Szechuan sauce.
D-Rose causing audio chaos.
Alright, he's muted now.
Okay, but like I was saying, look what. Let's go back like a few seconds. Hammer is just saying how everybody's enjoying it, and Jaren saying how bad it is. Nobody can enjoy this. I don't want to even be here. That's like an insult to the host, big time.
Gosh.
That's a slap in the face. I mean, what the hell?
Knows how scummy you are
You'll
now.
see now.
Wow, that would be hilarious.
If you don't retract your claim that by saying science proves, as you have affirmed here today, that makes me a scammer.
Hey, Tony,
I want a
good to see you,
retraction,
mate.
lest you be a total scumbag.
Never said that.
I've got a recording of it. Do you want me to dig out you saying it?
Sure.
Okay, give me 2 minutes.
Okay. So
Listen.
Nathan's going to pull out me saying that he's a scammer for saying science doesn't prove things.
Yes.
Yeah, at the beginning in his introduction, he was saying how he said that he was a scammer, and now he's double speaking. He's gone back on that.
Exactly. In his open statement, he literally said it.
Well, while we wait for that, big shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you for joining us. Hope you're
enjoying the conversation thus far.
How could anybody enjoy this? It's just like I'd rather be doing anything else.
So why be there then, dude? Why be there?
Cut him off, didn't he?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
This whole time.
You go on someone's show, but I mean, you go on someone's show, and this is the thanks you give the host. I mean, come on, the disrespect. I understand Jaren's hurt because he doesn't want to hear he's wrong, but come on.
He's just.
Well, we got to.
He doesn't want to be. Why be there then? Why?
Listen. But listen.
Shit?
Yeah, but listen. It goes on. But listen, it goes on.
We got 135 people watching live.
Nice.
They're enjoying it. It's I don't know. It's different. It's I don't know. These are probably how I feel necessary chats that need to happen in order to move forward. You know what I mean? Quite often you hear Glovers talking about how, obviously anything they say is untrue. So why would I even give credit and say repeat what they say anyway?
Right.
But I guess for the public, for the audience, it gives them, we are out here testing our own claims, talking to, people that we disagree with within our own community.
Who's
go ahead.
Who'd you say is doing that?
I mean, I'd like to. I mean, that's kind of. I guess that's kind of just a naive hope that I have. Maybe. I feel like that's the kind of the initial or original intentions of this scientific endeavor that human beings went on. Right, in a way, it's like let's go test our hypotheses and theories, however they label it, about reality,
and get as close to the possible truth as you can.
Sure.
And it's a never-ending process.
Must we listen to this?
Yeah.
This is the waffling of one person that will never get it, and another person who's speculating on what it is versus what Nathan said it was, as to remain neutral as a moderator.
Yeah, but Hammer did a good job. I think Hammer did a...
No, he did. No, he did. But right now, they're going back and forth.
Yeah, but there's something specific I want us to hear what Jaren says. That's what I'm letting it say.
Gotcha.
Maybe I didn't get it across very well right then. I apologize in the heat of the moment.
Man.
But it's more like...
Dude, no, you did all right.
No, you did okay. You were just trying to stay neutral. That's all. I mean, you actually did it well because he was very condescending there. And like I said, a slap in your face there by saying, I don't even want to be, I'd rather be doing anything else than be here. I mean,
you were being amicable, you were being civil, and he was just being a petulant child, like a teenager, in a huff, in a mood, stumping upstairs to his bedroom, saying, you know what I mean? I never asked to be born, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and please don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking you or anybody else, but you guys ain't got to do that. It's almost like I said this morning, it's like you're the one comforting the loser. You don't have to do that. You know where it stands. Jaren knows where it stands. He'll never admit it, but that was very noble of you to soothe him and show him condolences, and and just help him in his mourning. That's noble.
That's an interesting take. I gotta take that in for a moment.
It is a never-ending process. I completely agree with you. And to be honest, man, I remember in the beginning of this, when I started this, I've said it many times. I was telling Globers that science doesn't prove anything, and I really do feel like it's just in my personal opinion of it. It comes down to a semantics game on how whoever's talking about it is talking about proof, right? Because the way that they describe
Maybe we could start there, because if Oakley can understand what I mean by proof, because like I said, I say science prove things just in general conversation, and then what I said on my show that they got so upset about is I said science can never prove anything conclusively, that you never know if you have all the elements correct, if you have all...
which is false. We've been proven. Heat will always cause water to boil. This is scientifically proven.
Exactly.
Just because he doesn't understand what scientific proof means doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And just because pseudoscience says science doesn't prove things doesn't mean science doesn't prove things. The reason they say science doesn't prove things is because they work in the realms of pseudoscience. All their science, quote unquote, is based on pseudoscience, so they can't validate it. Hence why the globe's information keeps on changing, because it was never scientific to begin with.
Exactly, and the same that goes with the ether and the rising earth. They want to use for the convenience of their argument to say that it's scientifically proven, like Bob said about ether. It's been scientifically proven. But then you're going to turn around and say science doesn't prove things. You're the one that is contradicting yourself. You're the one that doesn't understand what science is. And the reason why you're saying science doesn't prove anything, because on one hand, you're not recognizing that just because a glober says science proves that there's a globe, he's not talking about science. He's talking about pseudoscience that doesn't even prove anything. But then you want to use that same science that he's using to validate your ether argument, which has not even been proven by the scientific method.
Exactly.
All the variables correct. And I cannot believe that anybody would argue with that. The fact that somebody would say, no, we always know all the variables.
Well, I would argue with that because it's a variable, not variables. Singular, Jaren. And Nathan has pointed this out to you. Singular. Uno numero. One. Ian. Does this guy understand what one means? So, in other words, because he's ignorant, he doesn't know what one means. Oh, you were wrong. Really?
We would never get that wrong. We would never get an experiment wrong. We would never not be able to achieve a certain level needed for that experiment to be proven right or wrong. Is crazy to me.
Oh, really? So when they shown Flatzoid to be wrong, that just happened by fluke then? Correct? Flatzoid was proven wrong using the scientific method, Jaren, which you said would never happen. Uh-oh. Another way to show you wrong again? I'm sorry, but I'm under the impression that Jaren is just really stupid and doesn't actually know anything that he's trying to defend. Or am I getting this wrong? I take it by the crickets, I'm wrong. Okay.
Sorry, I was typing.
I'm just joking, by the way.
Of course that would happen. And of course you never close the book on science. Nathan Oakley will tell you you do. As soon as you've proven something, you close the book, it'll never change. That's insane. And then he goes and says to people, oh, you'll all see that Jaren's wrong here. If anybody thinks I'm wrong, please unsubscribe, because it means that you are a follower. It means that you worship men, that you just listen to what somebody says, that you don't even have the ability to think for yourself. If you can think for yourself, you'd be like, oh yeah, humans get things wrong all the time. So to think that there's just some magic test that man made up that's like, oh, but when we do it this way, we can never be wrong, only right. We can never be insufficient. We can never be short. We can never come up short of something. Like, what if water was 800 degrees temperature to boil? So back in the day, 100 years ago, 200 years ago, we could have put a lot of fire under it. We could have tried a lot of things, and we would have reached the conclusion that heat does not cause water to boil.
See what I'm saying? How stupid the guy is? So you added heat, so you knew the cause was heat causing water to boil. Now, you couldn't get the water to boil yet, but I'm sure that water got hot, correct, guys? So yeah. So you would just go and add more heat until you do get it to boil. Or you change the water, maybe making it less water so the induction works better. Or how about using a smaller pot? Or holding it longer on the fire, Jaren? Ever thought of that? But what would be the main point here? Heat causes water to boil.
Right, you have to adjust your variable. I mean, you can't take a big lighter and put it to a tub, the base of a tub, and expect cold water to boil.
Exactly.
You have to, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know. He thinks like a 4-year-old, I guess. So.
Not even. If he had to go to any educational system and give the spewing so-called logic he's giving now, they would laugh him out of the room. They wouldn't even let him speak.
Yeah.
They would literally laugh him out the room. They would ask him, sorry, do you know how to tie your own shoelaces?
And we would have been wrong, but we would have proven it according to Oakley. So it's as simple as that. It's really as simple as that. Or my waterfall example, that you can make that hypothesis. Well, I think it's the rocks pushing the water over the edge. So in order to vary that variable or manipulate that variable, I'm going to remove all the rocks from said river. So a bunch of people get there.
Or you can just go to a plain in Africa and see a waterfall without rocks and know your argument is totally bullshit. Really? The guy is still hanging on to rocks cause waterfalls. And by the way, Jaren, the cause for waterfalls would be water falling. Not rocks. Rocks has nothing to do with it. It's like me saying, heat causes water to boil, but let me take ice and see if ice causes it. That's how idiotic it is. It's got absolutely nothing to do with the argument.
We all remove the rocks out of the river, and guess what? The level of the water comes down, and it no longer spills over the edge. The waterfall disappears. Therefore, we just, according to Nathan Oakley, through this rigorous method.
Has this guy ever gone to a waterfall before? Has anybody thrown a rock or taken rocks out of a waterfall before and the water level has changed?
This is the question we don't have to answer.
Exactly. Hey, Adam, how's it going?
All right, guys.
Yeah, you good. Good to see you, man.
There was a lot of scripted repetition that I noticed last night, but this is the one for the audience, isn't it? This is the one that you have to answer. And if you side with Jaren, good luck to you. If you think varying rocks equals waterfall, I mean, I'm not sure whether that's qualitative or quantitative, and I don't think Jaren would have a clue. Yeah.
Well, he doesn't know what
but
singular
if varying
means,
rocks equals waterfall, then that's the question that was put. And I raised this with QE this afternoon. Yeah. Those guys chat amongst each other. You've been there, Flatzoid, yeah, and you know what? Imagine this nonsense being put in front of the Flat Earth debate panel, right? How long would you last?
2 seconds, not
These
even.
guys.
About 3.5.
Let me just finish this point. These guys, because this point is repeated, and I didn't pick it up because the middle bit where Nathan goes off to prove, yeah, which he does, by the way. But in this little bit, I wasn't really listening. But to hear the repetition, because there's a number of points where people are working from dialogue, and that's not to say that isn't applicable to both sides. But I'm picking up their rhetoric that was designed for this debate, and it's very, very interesting. So, as I said to QE and the guys in the flat, imagine if it was like said and proposed to each other that what we're going to do to destroy Nathan is to say, if I vary rocks, then waterfall. How good a friend would you be if you allowed him to go live on air with that?
But I mean, Jaren's so dumb, he doesn't understand that that's an if question. It's not science. Science is not if. It's a
That
what is.
wasn't my postulation. If rocks
I know.
was ever going to vary, then waterfall.
Exactly, but that's what I'm saying. Jared doesn't even know what science is, and we've been saying this the whole time. It's crazy.
That is sadly, after all these years of knowing him and working with him and supporting him and enjoying his content for many years, that's the sad conclusion, isn't it? And he demonstrated in a number of ways last night, with the gallium not boiling concept and having to take it to absolute zero, and when we don't take it to absolute zero, we'll take it to places we could go but we haven't got yet.
But I have to bring that up.
And that's the important point. Places we could go, but we're not able to replicate within the experiment. This is what he didn't recognize.
But this is something. Sorry, but this is something I also have to bring up. He made a claim you can get to absolute zero, which is bullshit. And not even that. You don't get absolute zero in nature. So it's not naturally observed, so therefore not natural science.
I don't think it's even theoretically possible.
Nope.
By the definition of absolute zero, within that, people accept it's not a place you could go because the laws of physics would break down by its own definition. That was the first point. It was a ridiculous way to try and undo the scientific method with that. And then when you go to something outside of that, because you've struggled, because you've been shown the fallacy using, you then go to a demonstration, and this was the important bit, that clearly shows to the audience who do understand the scientific method that you don't. By making an integer where you suggest that you know it exists, but you're not able to replicate it within the scientific method yet, and therefore prove your hypothesis. It was fundamentally the key point for me when he made that one. I think I typed boom, because it was obvious that Nathan hadn't, sadly, got over the point to Jaren of what empiricism is. And this was the first point and the only point that Nathan wanted to go over, what hypothesis construction is and how powerful it has to be before you even take it to experiment.
Exactly.
And at that point, Jaren demonstrated he didn't comprehend it.
Yeah, but Darren couldn't even comprehend that he conceded that you prove either your hypothesis or your null. He literally conceded it many times. So if he doesn't even get that, how's he going to get experimentation? Because he can't even get, you only have a singular independent variable. You don't have a plethora. You don't have a plural. There's not more than one IV, and he couldn't understand that even. So I don't think he would understand what an experiment is.
I don't think he did. When he used rebuttals with things like, I put one candle under it, or I put it in my oven, or 100 degrees, or 500 degrees, even if you put it in an oven that's 500 degrees, those kind of statements, what he thought was a smart rebuttal that clearly he'd worked with his intelligent friends to use to destroy Nathan, I don't think he realised how stupid and how much of a demonstration it was that he didn't understand the reason why Nathan was there, which was to teach him about hypothesis construction. Exactly. And if he was clever enough to get past that, how important the experimental setup was. And Nathan didn't get to that. Maybe that could be debate number 2.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Nathan could even get to the controls for Jaren. Jaren is so stuck on things. I mean, if Nathan could have got to the controls, I think it would have made it easier for Jaren. But I think he was deliberately being woefully ignorant. He didn't want to concede he's wrong. I think that's the point. I don't think he wants to just accept, okay, yeah, I'm wrong. Even though I've conceded the argument, science definitely does prove. He's rather just going to say, nah.
Proved that it's rocks pushing water over the edge of causing the waterfall when it's not. That's not what causes waterfall. So this is the problem with mankind. This is the problem with men. This is the problem with human minds. We're always going to be biased. We will always possibly create the wrong hypothesis. Who's in charge of that? Who's going to verify that the hypothesis is correctly stated? Who's going to verify that all the variables were taken into account? Think about 200 years ago. We didn't know about the entire light spectrum outside of what we could see.
I've got a quick question. If, by Jaren's hypothesis, the more rocks you've got, the more waterfall you've got. So if I put a squadrillion rocks at the front of that cliff where the waterfall was forming anyway, naturally, based on the water flow and how much fucking water there was, excuse me. But if I put a bajillion Jeranism in amount of rocks, right?
Yeah.
And there were so many rocks that they outnumbered the water. Would that undo his level of proof that he's saying? Because he says the more rocks, the more waterfall. But if I put more and more and more and more and more and more rocks, the water will never get over the rocks.
You're building a dam,
Well,
yeah.
This is hypothesis construction. This is how retarded this is. If you're so stupid, right, that you would construct a hypothesis at that level of non-intelligence, yeah, you're never going to prove shit, man.
Yeah, but like I was saying, he's actually on a what if. He's not on a what is. So that's why it doesn't work, because he's, if I do this, not a what is. It's not a cause for anything. It's just a cause of showing his stupidity. That's it.
No, there is a possibility that if your hypothesis is correct, or is at least fundamentally sound, that you think an increase in this thing, there's a qualitative, there's a quantitative aspect to it. But if you think about it logically before you construct your hypothesis, that actually, from my real world observations, the more rocks I put on it, actually, it might help the water flow initially, because I've raised the waterbed.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually, I'm building a fucking dam.
Exactly.
Yeah?
And it doesn't
Then
go.
only retards move forwards after that because they deny reality.
So then rocks don't cause waterfall? Yeah, it's stupid. But I mean, this is why we say when he says, how do you know heat causes water to boil? You just go to a hot spring, you see, I see steam coming off. I feel heat. If I stick my hand in the water, it burns my hand. So therefore, the logical deduction is heat causes this. Then you go and do your experiment, which shows heat causes it. Very simple.
Quick last question before you play a game. If I was like about to go into debate with Witset, and this was my argument, or it was as weak as that, would you let me go in there? Because genuinely, I look at these guys, Jaren, Witset, are they shitting on each other? Because none of them can be genuine with each other, can they?
No.
Unless they're all so deluded that actually, yeah, Jaren, you know, when you go face up against Nathan, use this. If rocks, then waterfall.
Yeah, I wouldn't. That's what I say. It's really stupid. I'm sorry. That's what I say. It's literally dishonesty. The guy wants to be stupid. He's literally out there to make Flat Earth look dumb. I still believe that. I don't see how a person can be this dumb. Thank you, Rob Keen, for your gifting one membership. Thank you very much. Really, really appreciate it, mate. You rock.
But actually, it's great.
Yeah, but I mean, Jaren, really, I mean, he hasn't. I mean, like I said in the beginning, I don't think if you watched the beginning of the stream, Adam, we took almost 2 hours just to go through his opening statement.
Which wasn't
and I think we counted, 9 lies in his opening statement?
It was an opening ad hom.
So
I described that to the guys this afternoon. I said it was one of the best things I don't care about relationships with Jaren. I care about the message we're given and if it's going to be disparaged.
Exactly.
Okay. So that's why we're all here and we're all commenting on this. Jaren, we don't, unlike him, as he demonstrated admirably with his meltdown for an hour and a half after Nathan left, yeah, this is personal for him. As he stated, after he had to admit that science does prove things, and that when he called Nathan a scammer, he wasn't gentlemanly enough to say, yeah, you know what, I was wrong there. However, I still think you're bad for these reasons. He didn't say that. He just went, yeah, but these other reasons, which I think was the point that Nathan left. Yeah. But this is all that matters is what the audience hear, yeah, whether they believe me, whatever. And what they're hearing is a reality check again. We've done it once against the Bull, and we're now here again. And they've got to make the choice whether they do believe that science proves things, yeah, as long as it adheres to the scientific method.
Yeah.
And you can't just use the term science. And this is why Jaren's here. He wants to keep that power phrase, yeah, for his buddies. They're going to pimp ether, yeah, and dielectric acceleration, and all sorts of unproven stuff that just support their worldview, that they cannot, yeah, or at least match the standards, or in fact they're worse than the standards that the Bull held to, yeah. They're not even able to meet those standards, yet they want to keep that term science alive by decrying Jaren, by decrying Nathan, yeah, and just attacking us. First of all, they'll go, science doesn't prove things, and you watch. How are they going to claim ether? They're going to claim science.
Yeah.
There's a reason, last bit of the rant, that Jaren was so triggered is because within his citation that Nathan went off to fetch was his best mate, Dave Weiss, yeah? Yeah, and I'm sure we could put Whitsitt in there, but in total opposition to why Jaren stated that Nathan was a scammer, intercut with that was those guys saying the complete opposite.
Exactly.
Science does prove things.
Yep, and that's why even earlier in the stream I was saying that, because he said Whitsitt and David Weiss don't say it, and I said that's a lie. I've had Whitsitt on my own stream saying science prove things. He's going to bring up now where David also says science proves things. Even Jaren said science proves things. He used to say that until one day he just decided, no, science doesn't prove things. But that's why I say Jaren and these guys are literally Globers with flat earth t-shirts on. We were laughing earlier because Whitsitt, he came on my show and told me it's redundant to talk about the horizon being optical. And what do you see him doing most of the days today on his debate? Talking about the optical horizon.
Right.
After he told me it's redundant. The problem with these guys is they want to be the main guys. They want to be the guys that push the argument. If it's not them pushing it, then you guys are wrong. Because they want to be the leaders of Flat Earth. There's no such thing as a leader of Flat Earth. It's like all of a sudden, since Bob has passed away, these guys have gone AWOL trying to see who can take top spot, who can be the dumbest person on the block, and that's I think that's the problem. They're trying to grab Bob's position, or apparently because they saw him as a
I'm going to bed.
Yeah, I actually want to go to bed. It's 12:30. So thanks for coming, Michael. Really appreciate it.
Yep. Night, everybody.
Night,
mate.
Appreciate coming in.
Michael.
Retro Bull, thank you very much for your $5 super chat, mate. He says, Jaren tries to make himself look smart by making the scientist in his hypotheticals even dumber than he is. That's a good question. Good super chat. Thank you very much, Retro Bull. You rock. But you would agree with me, Adam, that when I say these guys, they can't accept not being the ones that bring up an argument. So then they want to tear it down because it's not them that came up with the argument.
Yeah, I think, sadly, there appears to be a power struggle, doesn't there?
Yeah.
And I think there was a lot of Nathan said a lot of times to Jaren, you're projecting. But I think sometimes we project our own fear, don't we? And listen to the start. You are a small channel. You've got this. You've got,
Yeah.
What's that about? Why did any of us come into this to talk like that to each other? We're all such small little chumps. How small do you have to be to try and be the big dick in such a small pond? When the reason you got in the small pond was to try and wake the big pond up, not to be the big dick in the small pond. Nobody, as you alluded to, nobody has that goal. Yet there appears to be people that are demonstrating that they want to fill Bob's role that was given respectfully out of merit. Bob earned his title for that merit, yeah. And like you say, it's interesting those that are grabbing for the crown. And last night, to me, and the way this whole debate's going, the whole conduct for certain sides seems to be the motivation. I don't want a crown. There's no one on flat. Any of the guys on FED start that kind of shit, we'll call them out, won't
Exactly,
we? Because hopefully you know.
Yeah, because we don't have a leader or anything. We're just for truth. I mean, even us all at FED, we have disagreed on many things together. I mean, we've disagreed on things. We call each other out on that because we're for the truth. The problem with these glowbusters people, they push any nonsense that they want as long as it just suits their buddies. And anybody that's calling them out on it is now scammers.
Yeah. I've got to say, like, Nathan Oakley, QE's not my boss, especially not QE. He called me an object moron.
Often with like, if you look at what's going on in the world now, where truth has to be denied, the way in which the denial of truth is supported is to appeal to feelings. Yeah, I should be able to do women's weightlifting even though I've got a dick, because I'm a really nice person and nobody was horrible to me when I went there and destroyed all the women. Yeah.
Well,
you can that's not a way of being, is it? That's not why we were here, was to be disingenuous with each other. And that's what's frustrating. So I listened to last night, and I listened to Nathan do his best to be genuine to somebody. And what I heard in return was the most disingenuous, power-grabbing, double speaking, nonsense. And as I said earlier, if you were in counselling or in a debate, right, just call it counselling, and after your partner leaves, you spend an hour and a half convincing the mediator why you were right. What does the mediator think of you? And that's the listener. Yeah. A mentalist spends an hour and a half because they're not sure of their position. They don't know really what they're on about. They're grasping for things. That's what I saw demonstrated live last night. An hour and a half. Yeah. None of it supporting why science doesn't prove things. All of it emotional bullshit, which is fundamentally, at the end, after Nathan got the admission via playing Jaren's own words back to him, that Jaren changed his tune and said, no, it's not just about that. It's about you upset my friend Whitset and then blah, 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 blah. Personal feelings, nothing more than feelings. Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, but I have to tell you something. You know, you can go and do women's weightlifting if you just say on your shirt, got chromosomes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's exactly just that. And it's sad. Because that's exactly why I also have to show why people have. I think it's very important people have to do streams like this, so they can expose these people for what they are. I think it's really important, especially in our very hard community, as I can put it, because we have standards to uphold, and if these people can't hold up to these standards, and they literally embarrassing us and they trying to call us things like scammers, then sorry, then they got no right to be part of the community, quote unquote.
No, and they've got to be called out because that we're all about truth, and this is lies. It's complete lies. You know what I mean,
we counted how much lies. We counted how much lies already from Jaren.
Exactly. I mean, well, you couldn't get through 2 minutes without 9 lies or something.
Yeah. So I'm just going to play Nathan's clip through quickly where he shows Jaren lied, and then I think we're going to end because I am kind of tired. You guys ready? Go.
Imagine they were back doing experiments and cause and effect relationship experiments, improving things, and then, somebody discovered that there's like 95% of more light that is not observed, and then all of our tests were wrong, and everything we proved is unproven, and it just becomes a whole mess. That's why science would never say they prove anything, or else you close the book. You don't get to do it again. To me, you want to always be refining. Even if right now we believe that heat causes water to boil, which actually it's not even heat, really, it's pressure, but it's another story altogether.
Okay, I'm going to say this again because Pitch did ask this. Sorry, guys. Pressure doesn't cause water to boil. Pressure the low pressure causes water to degas. There's a difference between boiling and degassing. I've explained this. Water boils because of heat energy transference. Okay? It's going through a phase change. The energy is causing steam and it's cooling down. With pressure, the air is forcing itself, it's degassing, the oxygen in the water is forcing itself to go to the low pressure system, aka entropy. So pressure doesn't cause water to boil, it causes it to degas. Now, you can boil water easier at lower temperatures, at lower pressures, because there's less pressure pushing back on the fluid. That's the only reason.
Yeah, that. You see, this is. I think me and Brian used the phrase "only having read half the book," and there's a lot of book to read if you're going to make this kind of comment. Doesn't mean the initial point is unproven. It means it's substantially supported with lots of other things. Pressure is one of the things we vary when we're looking at phase transition, all these things. Yeah, we know we can go up a mountain. That cup of tea's not quite as hot, even though the water was boiling. You know, these are spastic things that, again, fundamentally demonstrate that Jaren doesn't understand how to construct a hypothesis and therefore how to replicate it in an experiment. He's got no idea. If he thinks that all his supposition here destroys the experiment that would have supported this. It demonstrates he has no idea what the hypothesis would be, what the experiment would be, to build up to all of this knowledge we're sharing in terms of, like, look, the more air pressure is, the more energy you need to achieve the latent heat of vaporization for a water molecule. Yeah, there's all sorts of fundamental things that you can, and this is what Jaren's point is, add to the knowledge of. And yes, we do, but at no point with any of those scientifically proven things do we undermine any of them. We add to the knowledge.
That's why like Nathan even says, what's the second step in the scientific method? Data research. That's why it's there. It's as simple as that. So you can build on the actual data that's there already.
Together, that you can make wrong determinations. You know, for instance, if the hypothesis might need to be reworded, like Riley's egg experiment, right? When Riley did that egg experiment, I wonder why the hypothesis wasn't just if I add. Back when Nathan Oakley kept saying things like science proves this, science proves. I took him and said, Nathan, you know science doesn't prove anything, right?
And we could do actual science.
Oh, guys, and note, Jaren waits for the point where he says Nathan's a scammer because of proving to talk over it. Just pay attention.
To prove that we're not on a spinning globe.
I took him and said, Nathan, you know science doesn't prove anything, right?
24 times farther. Scientifically, we can prove that its angular size is too small. Scientifically, we can prove.
Kept saying things like science proves this, science proves.
Scientifically, we can prove.
I took him and said, Nathan, you know science doesn't prove anything, right?
Right?
And that could be proven scientifically.
Science proves this, science proves. Right? This has nothing to do with what you were going to get.
See,
so
he talks over the part where he says you're just a scammer because science proves. Well done, Jaren.
Back when David you kept saying things like science.
That's how you know you're being scammed. Back when Nathan used to say science proves this, science proves that. That's what he said.
Okay.
Okay, so you're a liar.
No. How do you know when you're being scammed? When somebody says that you said something, then they go get a piece of content that doesn't contain what they said you would say.
That's what you said.
What did I say? Play it again.
That's how you know you're being scammed. When science says this, when I spoke to Nathan and he said science proves this and science proves that.
Right. I mean, there's a million things that I said you were scammed for.
Yeah, right. So you said I was a scammer for saying science proves this and science proves that.
No, I said you're a scammer for not admitting when you're wrong.
No, that's what you said today.
No, that's what I've said weeks for months. So a year. Go back and watch my show. I know you don't watch my show, so you wouldn't know.
Meanwhile, when you have a predictive statement that A will cause B, it can't simultaneously not cause B at the same time.
I understand that.
While I was looking for that video, doubled down and said that tomorrow it might change. So in order for you to prove your stupid shit, you've got to show tomorrow.
Can we just pause this? Let's criticise Oakley. Yeah. What the fuck were you doing, bro?
He was a bit triggered.
You spent 10 minutes and let him ramble. You came back, destroyed him, and you let him distract you on another point. Yeah. Number one, and also, where were your mods? Come on. That, after humouring Jaren, that should have been paid. He went off and found it that proved the point. You as a mod, that was the point of the whole delay. Yeah, that should have been addressed and recognised.
And already got
why you were prepared to concede that much time and let your opponent have the open mic. That needs holding up. I think for future debates in whatever forum, that sort of thing. You've done that. You've just destroyed your opponent. Yeah, you've just destroyed him and watched the wiggle. And this is where my criticism of Nathan is. He bites on another little cherry, doesn't he? Unfortunately.
Yeah, but this isn't the first time he does get caught, though. But you see, this is what Jaren does, though. He's going to try and work Nathan up so he can concentrate rather on getting triggered by what Jaren says about instead of the argument. Because he did catch the bait now, Nathan. And unfortunately, yeah, after he went, he got on and then he caught the bait. I just want to say thank you, Rach, for being a member for 2 months. Peace and love to all. Shout out to Flats. Shout out to you too, Rachie. Thank you for coming. But yeah, he did catch the bait there, which unfortunately, we're all human. But yeah, Jaren also conceded in the beginning when he opened his statement. He said that Nathan is a scammer for saying science proves. So,
yeah, he also thinks you can have multiple variables and variables in an IV.
That's crazy. So, guys, tomorrow night I want to do my thermodynamics presentation. Do you want me to do that, or do you want to go on with this? Type 1 for thermodynamics presentation, or type 2 for carry on with this stream? Because I think I have to close the stream. I'm a bit tired. It's almost 1 o'clock.
Wow. Do we carry on with one, or do we, or do we carry on?
I think it's important.
I think we should.
That you should finish this.
Yeah.
I'm flying home to England tomorrow, so thank God I won't be. But somebody outside of this that sits in a separate sphere, it's not unaffiliated to both parties. There's no need to all the parties for years. It's worthy of you guys, and that's why I just chucked in a little dig at Nathan there, because Nathan criticises people for their debating tactics. All of this debate is open, you know. And it should be for the betterment of us moving forward for Flat Earth. Yeah?
Yeah, and
whatever the
I agree
outcome,
because
so you should do it.
I agree because there is some things when Nathan comes in that I do want to critique him on as well. So, yeah, I agree.
And I know him well enough. He'd be disappointed if he didn't. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, it's fine. Okay, so number 2, guys, we'll carry on with this tomorrow then, because like I said, I do have things I want to critique him on. Original Heroes 1. So then, and then Sunday night I have Andrew Johnson on. He's coming to present evidence for gravity, so you guys might want to stay tuned on that. And and then I'll have to do it Monday night then, because Wednesday it's my debate against McToon on celestial navigation.
Gross.
So yeah, I have quite a full plan up, and then hopefully that JC soon will get a hold of Hammer for a debate. I'm in the mood to tear apart some Daltards.
I know he's sounding a bit confident, but wow, he can't. What they believe, like I say, it makes more mess than the globe makes. You know what I mean? So
yeah. So far we've got a whole bunch of 2s and 1s. This makes it difficult.
It's a bit, yeah.
But yeah, I think this is really needed to go through with this because I do have some criticisms that I have on Nathan as well.
I think it's important you do that, mate. Yeah. Whether it's me, anybody, we should always be honest in our criticism. And it's not about bitching, but if there's a point to address for the betterment of flat Earth, and like I say, defending Whitsit's honour is not for the betterment of flat Earth. Yeah, but defending Bob's honour, God rest his soul, isn't for the betterment of flat Earth. Being honest and using the tools that we destroyed the ball with, and not pissing them away and dropping our stand so that we can accept any old cockamamie shit that people want to tell us if they talk fast enough. Yeah, that needs calling out. That's what's important right now. And what I'd be disappointed is if anybody that's not like on the flat Earth debate panel, because we call ourselves that, didn't have the nuts to just say it against any of us. Yeah, because none of us want any curtailing. This is about truth, you know.
No, exactly. You see in the background what I got specifically for Jaren. A boiling kettle. So yeah, but I also have to say thanks.
Real quick, and Adam, to allude to what you say, so we don't sound like hypocrites. It's not about honoring Nathan neither. It's about the truth. That's just to deflect anybody out there that try to say, well, because that's one of the biggest strawman fallacies. Whatever Nathan says goes. No, that's not true. If you listen to the show, that's not true.
I just called out there to attack Nathan, not because of his argument, which I'd be more than happy to do if there was something that I felt worth attacking, but because after spending all that time, he got distracted in a debate. I've pointed out and I've decried him for the benefit of other people to listen. You've just gone and picked up the biggest axe to chop somebody down. Yeah, you swung it right, and he just put a little magic potion over there, and you actually fell for it. Nathan fell for it. Yeah, just to show you that we're all fallible in debate. Yeah. But what last night was more about wasn't necessarily about who was the best in debate, as Neil deGrasse says, but actually listen to what people said. What was their argument? What were they trying to prove to you? I know what Nathan was trying to prove, that the scientific method proves things. I don't know what Jaren was trying to prove, because he changed it. Because what he was trying to prove was that Nathan is a scammer because he says science proves things. He changed that and turned it into Nathan is a scammer because when his figures got low to this level, he noticed, unsighted, that then he attacked Whitsit. And I'd point out I was there then. There was weeks before of can Whitsit come in with this bollocks. Yeah, Whitsit came in. Nobody forced Whitsit in. Nobody could drag Whitsit in. Nobody was bothered whether Whitsit came or didn't. Yet Jaren lied to you all about what really happened there to portray his paradigm. So what was his purpose of being there? I don't know, but I do know the amount of lies that I heard for him to portray whatever you lot think he portrayed. Any of you, whether it was truth, fact, fiction, or just sadly what looked a little bit like a mental breakdown towards the end.
Well,
Yeah, exactly.
right. That's about right.
LJ, I just want to say thank you very much for your $2 super chat. It says thoughts on vibes on Cosmos. Moon is an Earth map.
Yeah.
I did debate someone on that before, where because they're saying it's more like an X-ray, but then I said, okay, where do you take X-rays, in a dark room or a light room?
Yeah, dark. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't believe the moon is a Earth map though.
I don't. I did look into it for a little bit, but yeah, no, I don't.
But I've been wrong about many things.
It's a nice. Well, it is interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is an interesting thing.
It is definitely, but I don't quite like. Yeah, it doesn't. To me, yeah, it doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem right. It's good. It was a good thought.
Yeah. Rob Keane, another one gift membership. Thank you very, very much, mate. You rock. 3 memberships for the evening. Really, really appreciate it.
Really good.
Okay, guys. So I'm going to close off.
One thing. If I could.
Yeah.
Outside of Flat Earth, and I won't describe. You know, sometimes you have weeks, you have a weird time, and you look at life.
Yeah.
But you know when you pray sometimes, yeah, and even through the day, your thoughts wane.
Yeah.
By the end of the day, I've got to say, and by the end of the week, I just want to say God is good. Okay, I don't want to describe it personally, but just to reaffirm that on many levels, God is good. Yeah, and it's nothing to do with the Jaren nonsense. Yeah, just on a personal level. So I just wanted to give that a shout, you know, because sometimes it's not said enough for us to realise. Yeah, it's what we need.
Wow.
You got out.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks for the message. You guys must have an awesome evening further. I will carry on with this part 2 tomorrow then. Hopefully Adam will also be able to show up. I don't think so. I think you're flying back to England, you said so.
I'm flying home.
Yeah.
I'll be on a plane.
But
I will listen back.
You're flying on a jet plane. Don't know when
without-
I'll be back again.
Without compensating for Coriolis or asking the pilot to switch on his Coriolis compensation switch.
Well, the problem is you won't have Wolfie. Then you know. If you had Wolfie, then you'll have to compensate for it, you know, because he somehow compensates.
That's when your flight's late, isn't it? When Wolfie's on it.
Oh, yeah. The clown Wolfie. But yeah, I really appreciate you coming on, mate.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks, guys.
But do try and watch the beginning of the stream as well if you can. I would like you to review some of my stuff. See how I critiqued some of the things.
Cool.
Awesome. But thanks all for coming. Really appreciate all of you guys for coming. Many blessings. I'll see you all tomorrow night. May the pressure be with you. Cheers.